Really good
Very good. Yeah.
for start pay. Biopharmaceuticals. It sounds cool to say when people ask what you do. Oh, I'm in the biopharmaceutical industry. Yeah, all I'm doing is making eye drops. So
Can you move this light towards me so I can pull this up a little bit? Is it
we just making some eye drops.
Thank you, sir. Much better. Wait, what's going on here? Why am I not setting it down on something?
Oh, you're just dumb. Let me see if I can raise the lights. Okay, try whispering it out.
That's the need to raise it.
Oh, they are fine over here. Just try to get it down.
Alrighty.
That will work. Thanks, sir. Oh, that's all in my picture. That's okay. He didn't break it. Yeah.
Reminder after you guys done, I gotta put that laptop back in.
Oh, that's one from down there. Yeah, we got to figure out where the other ones are.
Backyard, yeah.
Okay, so we're live. Let's double check ourselves.
We are live.
Just in case. Hello, hello. A lot of breathing. All right, try your mic real quick.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Okay, that sounds good. Why is there a comment up? Hide. Okay, we is live. Okay. Our swimmers here, streamers here, I guess. Okay, here we is. It's a whole show.
Did you want to do the Friday
you wanna do
first?
that
Yeah,
first?
do that first. Yeah, knock
Are they
them out.
waiting?
They should be. Yeah, I told him I was going to send him the email between 9 and 10 with the link.
Okie dokie.
What's up? I didn't hear you. Yeah. This will be for Friday. Yeah.
I brought a Friday if you want to do it anyway.
Yeah, we could do that too.
Then we'd be one Friday ahead. Well, I will not be here next Sunday because my birthday. I am not coming in. No, you don't. Please do not. Please do not. Just the presence of your visage is all I need. I guess I don't know. I emailed that over to you.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine. I'll take that. I'll take that. Just take it down there and post it on my door. Yeah. It's like, as long as I get to use the laminator. We got a guest coming in, hopefully.
The camera moved on me too. It moved me out of frame.
Oh no, the camera moved. It moved the laptop. The one I have is about that ATX TV festival.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was wanting to talk about too. Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a separate one. Actually, if we do that, no, this thing's on May 30th, so good. There's a girl.
Yeah, I'm just sending it off to them now and seeing what they say. If they take too long, we'll just start and I'll tell them that they took too long. You're not excited for Tennessee Titans anything yet? No, not yet. Because because that was like a historic slide. Nobody has ever said, "Hey, we're supposed to go the first round," and slid to the fifth.
Oh, I don't know. Aaron Hernandez killed people.
Yeah. Well, but nobody has ever slid. Nobody has ever
Slid
slid
that far.
from like top 5 pick all the way to 5th round like pick kind of thing. That was kind of like
And then
unprecedented.
it was the second quarterback that Cleveland had taken, which that means they passed you over once and then came back around and got you. I mean, no, the whole problem is it wasn't his attitude. It's the extra of having Dion around all the time, and then not only that, it has a lot to do with his throwing motion and stuff that they.
Yeah, they don't like that he taps the ball and stuff like that.
Yeah, he shows his tells a lot, and so when he went to try out, where they start ranking people, they were like, "Oh no, we don't like him." And then in a place like NFL, that spreads like wildfire, and then everybody wants to keep their hands off of it.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's a decent football player. It's just victim of circumstances.
He had some great wide receivers, like the best wide receiver in the country, and so that played a big part. Yes,
he sure did. He looked very excited whenever he was running off the stage till he went to Jacksonville.
Yeah. Jacksonville traded up to get him. Well, he should. I mean, he's a very good wide receiver. He can catch almost anything. Oh, sure. I mean, they have a good quarterback. I mean, I'd love to punch that guy in the face just because he looks like a smarmy little fart.
But the guy, I think he didn't lose a football game in his entire football career until he went to the NFL. The guy with Jacksonville, like he might not have been, he might not be as great in the NFL. I think it's a lot of it's circumstance too about the team that he's on. But
you're also in Jacksonville, Florida.
He is.
Jacksonville.
He didn't lose very many games in his career until he got to the NFL, which is kind of crazy to think about, never losing a game.
Yeah. Hello, welcome. Hello. Nobody's in there. I think they all think it's 11.
Yeah, hopefully they get back to me pretty soon.
What's a fun fact you learned, Mason? Yeah.
You guys know what round Tom Brady was drafted?
It's like 13th or something.
Yeah, he went. He was pick 199.
It's pretty far.
Yeah,
down.
there's a documentary called The Brady Six, and it talks about all the careers of the 6 quarterbacks that went before he went and how bad their careers were.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I've always thought that the people who evaluate talent for the NFL are just terrible.
We got to think Brock Purdy as well. He was Mr. Irrelevant, and then now he's like a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah,
the guy for San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, but you look at the history of Heisman winners. Heisman winners generally go first, second, third, something like that in the draft.
Yeah,
and hardly any of them pan out.
Ever. Yeah, they just base it off of what they did in college most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the same game. It's just not the same game.
Different ball game, yeah.
Literally, the rules are different. Do they? Do they still have to do that?
Unofficially, yeah.
Technically, they do, yeah.
But then you really are an adult. You're still an adult in college. Your hand's being held by getting you ready for the NFL. And then you're there, and then you're just...
You want to do this other Friday real quick while we're waiting on them?
Yeah, we could do that.
Get that out of the way?
Yeah.
That way it's a little shorter. All right, you can mark it if you want. Hello, look at there. It's BWAAA.
Wow.
Podcast.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, so we took a week off for the He Is Risen Day and went and hid some eggs. And I don't know. I mean, I know I ate one chocolate bunny. How many did you eat?
I didn't eat any chocolate
You didn't eat
bunnies.
any chocolate bunnies?
No, I went to a Willie Nelson concert that weekend though.
Willie Nelson, where at?
Whitewater Amphitheater in Canyon Lake,
Oh, wow.
which is right
that's
outside
very
of New Braunfels.
Yeah.
It was pretty good for a 90-year-old man. He put on a damn good show, I have to say, for his age. Like I was expecting. There was a David Allen Coe concert here in town one time, and he's a man who's also quite elderly. Yeah. And people were like, it was like he had handlers. It was like he wasn't even aware of where he was or anything like that. But Willie Nelson, man, he walked right out on stage, got the crowd all fired up.
How long did it last?
He played. Well, it lasted a little. Well, we had Robert Earl Keen played first. And that was pretty good.
That's pretty amazing.
He did a pretty good show. And then Willie came out. Willie played for probably a good hour and a half.
Oh, really?
Almost 2 hours.
I saw him. I've seen him twice. Once at Billy Bob's, and that was an hour, maybe a little less than an hour. And then saw him at Ranger Stadium, whatever that new place is called.
Yeah, he had his son with him too. So
it was him and Chris Stapleton, and so that was pretty good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he had his son with him. They played one of his son's songs called
I think
"Everything Is Bullshit." Well, it's called Willie Nelson and the Family.
Yeah,
that's what it's called now. So I think that's what he's been doing, I guess, now for the last 20 years has been him and his family, because it's been Willie Nelson and family for all the events. Yeah. I know that whenever he put the family band back together, his sister is she's since passed, but she was an amazing piano player, and she played piano, I think, for him at the very beginning, maybe, or no, I don't think, I don't remember how it goes, but she ended up coming back for him and playing piano again after not playing music with him for 30 years. And she played in the family band until she recently passed. I think she passed last year, actually.
So, Rusty, this being a That Ain't Right Friday, we have, I believe, a couple of guests.
Yeah, we're supposed to have some guests.
We have, looks like Brandon and Chris.
Yes,
I'm going to bring Brandon in because I can see him on the camera there. So let me bring him in. Brandon.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
I'm like way off to the side. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm going to put these headphones on just so I can hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear him.
Yeah.
Do I have any headphones?
You do not. I tell you what. Why don't you take these? Hang on.
Okay.
You take these and give us just a second, Brandon. We're not used to having people in our house.
That's all right.
Probably not. Hang on. Hey, is your buddy coming, Chris?
He's on here. I don't know if he has a webcam though.
Okay. Give us just a second. Tape, which is just really stupid. All of this will be cut. Okay, let's try
that. All right. That actually might work.
Better?
Yeah.
All right, you got that?
There we go. Yeah. Sorry about that, Brandon.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, we haven't had a guest in a while, so our headphones
aren't
set up.
We have not had a guest.
That's okay.
The house is set up just for the old married couple here. We don't. All right, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
And
I think
all right.
My brother said that he was in the thing, but I don't know if he's like on or he just doesn't have
there.
a webcam.
We got to pull him up. Yeah.
Okay.
He's there. He's waiting.
Rusty, back off that mic just a little bit, would you?
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah. Let's see. Let's add Chris. The problem is we won't get a camera.
Hey, yeah, sorry, don't have a camera.
You're okay. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this down also, just so we can see each other. Okay. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. Do you have a picture of yourself, Chris?
What
I was going to say is if you can email me a picture of yourself or one of you two, and then we'll just put your face in there.
Okay.
Curious typing.
Can you just put a picture of Joseph up for me?
Whatever you want. Just text back to Rusty, and he'll do it. Yeah, he'll tell me which one to do, and we'll do it. Okay, so 16. All right, we're gonna start at 16:30. Back at 16:30. Okay, and tell me the name of y'all show again.
Short pour.
Okay, one at a time and spell it, please.
SHORT.
POUR.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just stupid. That's what it is. Okay, all right, we'll ask you about that. Okay, here we go. So we'll just pick it up at where I say we have a guest, and we'll just pop.
You can just grab a random
picture
of Joseph or whatever.
Fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I feel like he embodies me the closest.
And again, your mic is a little hot, so just back it off a little bit.
Yeah, I'll leave it right here.
Here we go, gentlemen. So Chris and Brandon, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. So we're welcoming in Chris and Brandon from the Short Pour podcast. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hey,
good. How are you doing?
How's it going?
Good. It's good.
Welcome.
So tell me about your show, number one, and then we'll make fun of everything, and then we'll kick you out.
Okay. So essentially, we just both drink a beer, and then we come up with some random topic somehow related to the beer, or like the can art or something. Really, the beer actually has nothing to do with it. We are not experts on beer at all, but
yeah, it's just kind of a jumping off point to get us into an interesting topic. And we kind of like learn something. We go through like maybe some history, some weird facts, something like that. And all the while we're just drinking the beer. And then kind of at the end, we wrap it up, and then we say some final thoughts on what we thought the beer was, and read some reviews of them, and kind of just make fun of things along the way.
So give me a couple of examples. Like what were the couple of them that you can really remember and the facts that they generated?
Okay, yeah. So we did a whole episode on like narwhals.
And, that's awesome. Yeah.
the can that we had like this can had like a double horned narwhal. Yep. And apparently that's a real thing. So we learned about those. It's technically a tooth. It's not actually a horn.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's got to be hard to eat with.
That's a cool concept, though. I like the idea that you look at the can or whatever graphics on the can, and you come up with a topic out of it. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it is cool. So what now, Chris? You're on the hook. Give me one.
Yeah. So one that we recently did that I enjoyed was I like a lot of cream ales, and I discovered that last year that's kind of my go-to now.
Yeah,
cream ale. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, they're delicious. I love them. But that kind of like gave me a springboard into thinking about like milk, and then like how did humans start drinking milk? And so we did a whole dive into that, and it's a lot sadder than you would initially think.
Oh, I would imagine. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was just some weirdo just started sucking on cow teeth.
See, yeah, exactly. A lot of people like that's the go-to. But
I always thought it was like a bet or a dare.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was leaking and reached down there and like put their finger on it or something and licked their finger. Like, oh, this tastes like cream.
It's not half bad. But the fact of the show for me on that one was that we have to build up the tolerance. Like as humans, we need to build up the tolerance to ingest milk from other animals and like keep it. Yeah. So that means that all of the earliest humans who were drinking other animals' milk were just suffering through lactose intolerance.
Oh, that's
They
awesome.
pushed through until,
They kept going.
until we could reap the benefits.
Honestly, it sounds like every lactose intolerant person I know, they're like, I'm gonna eat. They're like, there's like one dairy product that they will eat that they'll suffer through just because they like it so much.
Yeah,
Like
it's worth it.
my friend's mom growing up, she was lactose intolerant to ice cream, but like every weekend she had like one tub of ice. Like she would take us out for ice cream like once, like every Saturday. So she would always suffer that one day.
Can you imagine loving something so much that you're willing to put up with, I don't know, a day's worth of diarrhea for it?
Well,
Right?
now they have medication for it, so you could
Yeah.
take the pill and drink the milk.
Yeah.
So
That sounds like me with my son. We had a baby last year, and I put up with him every day, and he has diarrhea a lot. So, I love him enough.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not saying the love would wane. I'm just saying it might change a bit. Hey, there's a great book out there called "Who Ate the First Oyster," and it's about those very things. Who picked up an oyster, opened it up? Number one, who opened it up, and then when you look at it, it's just snot. I mean, but somebody went, "Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
damn."
Didn't even attempt to cook it.
Yeah, no.
So, how long you been doing the show?
We've been doing this for a little over a year. I think we started last February, technically.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where are you guys located?
We're in Kansas City, Missouri.
No, I mean specific addresses. Where are you so that we can?
Yeah.
So Kansas City, huh?
Okay.
Yes.
Are Chiefs fans?
Oh yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
But we've been Chiefs fans the whole time, well before Mahomes got here.
I'm a huge San Antonio Spurs fan, and I have to do that exact same thing. Like, yeah, they're bad now, but we got 5 rings, and I was there the whole time, and then I tell all the stories that go along with it.
That's exactly what Cowboys fans do. You remember that time in 1996 when we won a Super Bowl? Barely remember it, but yeah, I got you. Yeah.
So tell me about your tie to King of the Hill.
Well, I guess it was like our family's comfort show before we knew what a comfort show was. It was just always on. And it was one of those things, like our dad loved it, so he just always had it playing, and it was always on like Cartoon Network or something like that.
Sure,
so we watched a lot of it.
So give me, I guess favorite. I was going to say favorite episode and favorite character. I guess that's fair.
Yeah. Favorite
if you
episode,
can pick out
favorite
one good episode, we'll start with you, Chris. What's your favorite episode? Or it doesn't have to be by the name or anything like that, but what do you remember the most from an episode?
Okay, well, this might seem bad at first, but I remember the most. My least favorite episode is the Miss Wakefield episode, the one where the old lady wants to die in their home at Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
That episode is so frustrating.
That's a weird episode. Yeah, that is definitely one of the weird ones.
That is the one that we always avoided growing up. It would come up and we're like, nope, skip it.
That's the one you like the least.
Yeah, that's the one I like the least. That's the one that stands out the most to me.
Tell me about best.
That's tougher.
It is very hard.
It is tougher.
It is.
Because, like you said, I have watched through the series so many times.
Yeah.
Probably one of my favorite ones would probably be. I like the one where Dale figures out that his dad is at the gay rodeo.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a really good
rodeo story. Go ahead and tell him, Mike.
Yeah, so I was brought into a meeting. This has been, I don't know, a couple months ago. And because basically what I do here is I come up with new concepts. I meet with clients as far as like their before they start a show, and we talk, pre-production, production, things like that. And so I was brought onto a Zoom call, and they said they wanted to start a show, and they said it was something about a rodeo. And I came in, and number one, as soon as I came into the room, the guy goes, "Hello," and so that I knew that it was kind of rodeo. And I'm not making fun of anybody or anything. This is literally the way the guy talks. "Hello," that kind of thing. And so they proceeded to tell us that this was for the International Gay Rodeo Association. And I was like, oh my God, I told both of them, I said, I know nothing about this. the only information I have is from this one episode of King of the Hill. Yeah. And then they go, oh yeah, the one where he finds his dad. And so we just immediately, synced up. So it was great.
So did they say that it was like pretty, like, was that good information or?
They loved it. Yeah, they loved it.
That's awesome.
No, good.
Like
It was something really cool to bond over,
Yeah, it might be the only pop culture reference ever to a gay rodeo.
Yeah, I don't think there's many.
Yeah.
And one that's not explicitly like a negative too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they've been doing episodes for, I don't know, the last couple of months or so for all their events and all this stuff. So, I mean, it's fantastic. I once again, I feel like I have to make this statement almost every show where King of the Hill is perceived as this red hat type show. And it just literally is not.
Yeah,
it could not be further from the truth. It teaches a lesson every time. There's something morality wise. Hank is not a right-leaning man. He does what he needs to do. I mean, it's
and well, not only that, like we've been doing this show now for almost like 3 years, 3.5 years, something like that. And out of like everybody who's contacted us at that time, I mean, it's like a smorgasbord of people. I mean, like the fan base for King of the Hill is just really just like insane. We get these insane letters sometimes about like people talking to, political stuff like, oh, Hank would do this or Hank would do that. And then, you get like, oh, I'm a transsexual basket weaver. And they're like, I love King of the Hill, so it's just like this huge like spectrum of people that watch the show, and it kind of trips us out sometimes.
I'm not sure you can say that anymore. Basket weaver.
Oh, basket weaver.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone over kind of the best. Now, Brandon, did you tell us your best one?
I want to hear Brandon's favorite.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Mine is probably That's My Purse, I Don't Know You.
Yeah,
that's iconic. Yeah, that's a very iconic one. I see a lot of being in the King of the Hill like sphere on Instagram, like my entire feed for like our shows, a lot of like King of the Hill related stuff. So I'll see every now and again it'll be like a tattoo artist doing like a "That's My Purse, I Don't Know You" tattoo. That's got to be like the number one tattooed King of the Hill thing is like Bobby Hill.
Yes,
yeah, Bobby Hill in various positions and times of his life. So give me. And this is for both of you, I guess, however you want to handle that. How are y'all feeling about the update? I'm not going to call it a reboot.
The revival.
They call it the revival.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Like, I remember because it like was going strong, and then like it was like a real sudden, like all of a sudden stop. Like I think there was more that was like in the works. So I'm excited to see where it kind of goes and how Bobby has changed through his time.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're fast forwarding. I like the fact that they're adding on some years. Yeah,
I like it.
I feel like they need to at this point also just to kind of work in the long actual time gap.
Yeah. Well, they did the same with Beavis and Butthead. They aged them up in the new Beavis and Butthead deal, and they had them looking old.
Are they older?
Well, what they did is it's like in the universe, it's kind of weird how they did it because it's them as teenagers most of the time, like half of the time, but then it like forwards to them being.
Oh, does it
like,
really? Oh, see, I guess I've not watched enough of them
like
to see that.
50-something-year-old men, which is kind of funny.
Oh, not 50.
Oh yeah.
Well, and Chris, you said you're excited for it as well.
Yeah, the last I heard, they were still just working on it. Has there been any more recent?
Yeah. There's a lot of updates. They're at like post production.
Yeah,
like right now.
We thought that they were. There was a rumor going around that May 25th was like the first.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay. So,
but
we've
since heard. Yes, we're getting very close. I'm thinking it's probably June. But we've since been informed about this thing that's going on in Austin on May 30th. It's called the ATX TV Festival, and the entire cast and crew are going to be there taking questions and giving previews and things like that. Okay. So I would imagine right after that, some like first couple of weeks of June, something like that. So, but we've got 2 seasons coming now. That doesn't mean what it used to. That's probably 10 episodes. But dude, I'll take them. Yeah. I'm very excited about it. I think it ought to be pretty cool. I'd say the entire cast. It's really only Toby Huss, Lauren Tom, Pamela Adlon, than some of the producers and showrunners.
I was going to say there was some
and,
drama in the King of the Hill Facebook page. Jonathan Joss, the voice of John Redcorn, he lives in San Antonio, and his house just recently burnt down, like the childhood home that he grew up in, that he's lived in all his life. That thing just burnt down, and he wasn't invited. So I don't know if it's a slight on him because he wasn't the only one that's not invited. Kathy Najimy's not invited. Brittany Murphy wasn't invited. Tom Petty wasn't invited. But
I don't know that Tom Petty could have made it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so the Jonathan Joss was on Facebook telling everybody in the Facebook group that he wasn't invited, and then he told a story about how his dad used to shine shoes out of the theater out in front of the theater.
So it's being held at the Paramount.
Yeah, it's being held at the Paramount. I don't know what it used to be called, but whatever it was, his dad used to shine shoes
Paramount
outside of it for $5 a pop. Yeah. So he said that he is going to go set up a shoe shining deal.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Out in front of the theater. Because I guess he felt slighted by not being invited, but I imagine there's more nuances and stuff behind the scenes that we don't know.
Well, they may have only had 5 tickets. Also.
The guy is a little unhinged on social media. Like signs of drug addiction kind of things like that.
You add this much time to anybody, and they're going to be completely different people than they were.
Yeah, well, not only that, he once tried to charge us $5,000 to talk to us for 30 minutes.
Yeah, we did.
Oh my gosh,
he did come back. He was like, "Oh yeah, $5K, I'll be there."
Yeah, I tried to get him on the podcast, which would have been great to have him on, but he quickly messaged back and was like, "Yeah, $5K," and I was like, "Man, for a 30-minute Zoom call?" I'm like,
we've been able to talk. We've been able to talk to some folks. We talked to Dale's best friend right after Dale passed.
Yeah, Johnny Hardwick. After Johnny Hardwick passed, we got to talk to one of his best friends, Saint Scott.
Cool. Yeah, that was cool. And then we've talked to some other folks, like for some of our other shows. Like we talked to the guy who does the voice of Meatwad, and not Meatwad,
Frylock. Carrie Means. Yeah, we got to talk to
folks like that. But King of the Hill folks are tough to find.
Yeah, it's
they really are.
Well, the thing is when we started the show, they were already in production, so there's a lot of people that are underneath NDAs that can't really come on the show and talk. So Wes Archer is one of.
But we're really hoping. Yeah, Wes Archer's actually answered you before.
Yeah, he's answered me, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't do anything for you right now, but NDA." So
I'm assuming when they start up on this thing, and don't tell anybody, but we have applied for credentials to try and go cover this thing. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, if we could make it there, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's awesome.
All right, so what do you guys do in real life?
Well, we actually both work at the same company. We used to both be teachers.
Just blurted out. You were teachers, huh?
Yeah, I was a high school biology teacher for 10 years.
Oh wow,
that's crazy.
And what about you?
And I was a PE teacher for 5 years.
Oh, a PE teacher. See, that's
okay.
What? 5 years?
Yeah, he was 5. Yeah,
5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys listened to this or not, but I taught for quite a while as well. So I taught high school, middle school, and some college. But I taught rockets, robots, art, and programming. So I taught all the stuff that you couldn't be state tested for. And that was by design. I don't want any part of that. No, the PE teachers have a tough time. They're just like art teachers, honestly, because our classes always ended up being the dumping grounds. Like if you can't find a place for a kid, throw them in PE, throw them in art, and then because what you want is a good disgruntled kid with a dodgeball in their hand or maybe a pair of scissors. That seems very an intelligent way to handle those kids that have outbursts of anger. Okay, so you said you did teach. What do you do now?
We're both engineering technicians.
Oh.
We're drafters now.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Quite the switch up. We work like 20 feet from each other now.
Yeah.
Oh. And yet you still don't have a camera. I see how it is. Okay.
Who's the older?
I'm older.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, by how much?
Yeah. 5 years.
Okay. Decent life growing up? Did you grow up around there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we grew up right around Kansas City. Well, in Kansas City for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What's your least liked thing about Kansas City?
Probably the humidity in the summer.
The humidity
and the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
How
it's a
hot
tough summer
in the summer there?
I mean, we'll be over 100, but it'll it's the humidity it's just like stifling. Of I can't deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys believe that your barbecue is better than Texas barbecue?
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
There was
Without
no
a
wait.
question.
There was no pause, no anything. He said, "Yep."
Well,
yep,
I heard
done.
that in Kansas City, y'all have to slather a bunch of sauce on it to make it taste good. So I don't know. I've never had Kansas City barbecue.
Vinegar based, right?
Yeah, we're very into the sauce. Yeah,
Are you
Yeah.
a white sauce or a red sauce?
red sauce.
Red sauce. Okay. Where is white? White sauce is somewhere like a white.
That sounds like a Carolina.
Carolina.
Maybe.
That's right.
Yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah, they're more vinegar based. Ours tend to be more molasses based.
Okay.
Molasses
So you
and
go
ketchup.
sweet, they go sour. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We just cook really good tasting meat, so you don't really need heavy amount of sauce.
I don't know, man. In Texas, I hear you just taste the heat, not the meat. So
That's right. You got that right. We I am a very big fan of condiments. So
yes,
and I do try to enunciate when I say that word, but
yeah.
I love a good sauce. I don't care which one it is. There is one barbecue place here that Hellberg's please sponsors. So they cook really good barbecue. It's always like if you go in and ask for moist, they'll give you. They know what you're talking about. They cook the big beef ribs and
they
things
give you
like
the wet
that.
pieces.
Yeah, burn ins. They do all that stuff, but they carry 3 different kinds of sauces. They carry a mustard based, more of a sweet sauce or molasses based, and then one of the white sauces. So it's kind of cool because you can get. You can take a little culinary trip, I guess.
Yeah.
With the barbecue.
Are you guys familiar with Provel cheese?
Provel? No.
Okay, I figured not. So it's kind of an interesting little mix. There's a place. It's on the Kansas side.
Is it provolone or is it provolone and Velveeta?
No.
Oh
no, it's its own. So there's a place on the Kansas side called Slaps, and what they've done is they've taken this Provel cheese, which is big in St. Louis, and it's kind of a funky cheese. It's it's kind of like provolone. It's very very melty and almost liquidy, not as stretchy as mozzarella.
Yeah.
And they use it on pizza, but at Slaps they put it on their pulled pork and their brisket sandwiches, and it melts all into it, and it hits. It's really good because that funky cheese cuts through with all the sweet sauce and the meat, and it's really good.
So when it melts,
onion rings.
Just make like a puck, it just all makes a big clump with cheese and sauce and meat.
It's almost just dripping down the side. It's super belty. Yeah, it's messy. Yeah.
And you said something about onion rings.
There's onion rings on the sandwich too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now
it's my favorite sandwich here.
And this has nothing to do with anything, but I had I get these little inventions in my head every once in a while, right? And this is, you're all are going to think I'm an idiot, but I always wanted to make this sandwich called a trucker sandwich or whatever you want to call it, right? Trucker burger. And so it's a regular hamburger, cheeseburger, whatever you want on it, but you also put just a round hash brown patty in it.
Oh,
because as you're driving, you can eat it with one hand. You don't have to reach in and get your fries. So for truckers, they can eat it and drive.
That sounds pretty.
That would be my commercial.
I kind of do that. If I go to McDonald's, I get the chicken McGriddle.
You're welcome, Burger King.
And I'll put my hash brown on my chicken McGriddle and eat it like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
those are always on a secret menu or something. You can order it's like B style over at In-N-Out and
yeah.
I don't know if Whataburger has a thing like that though.
I don't eat Whataburger.
Do you guys have
anymore,
Whataburgers there?
We recently got Whataburgers mostly because of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
he advocated for them.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good for him. Good for him.
Where did he buy a franchise?
That's right. No. He's from Texas. Remember, he played at Tech,
White House,
all that. So he's probably big on the Whataburger. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know why that gets so ingrained in us around here. Because frankly, it's okay.
It used to be great. It sucks now, honestly.
Yeah, I understand.
In-N-Out might even be better than Whataburger.
I'll get dragged for this, but it's not what it used to be. And it's not since the company bought them and started spreading them out and things like that. But when you're talking about the Whataburgers that Hank and those guys go and eat, that was a different burger. It was. It was a little meatier. It was a little sloppier. Things like that.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah. I long for an old Whataburger.
Yeah, well, I don't think they taste the same. I think since that company bought them out and the Chicago company bought it, that
it's just like cigarette filters. When you eat them,
I think
they
cut costs on food, and it just doesn't taste the same.
Yeah. So give me let's anything but this has turned into a food episode. But butt barbecue, what is your go-to? So, like, if you're just feeling like, screw this, I deserve to go get something. This is my thing. I'm going to go get this one thing. I'm going to go. So for me, and I'll just go ahead and give you mine. For me, there's a place here called Bush's Chicken, and I will go and get the 8-piece gizzards with fries, and it comes with a little gravy.
They call it 8-piece, but it's more like
it's
a
more like
22-piece. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Always order the small one because you're going to get way more than you want. Anyway, I take that home, sit in the dark, watch some TV, and I'm happy, and then I can pass out after that. So what is y'all's go to like that?
Oh man. Do you have one? Do you want to go?
And it can be local, it could be a local place.
Yeah, ours is probably Lulu's Noodles. It's like a Thai noodle place.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Like the hand-pulled noodles and stuff
food.
like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the really long. I think my wife gets like the pad say you. Really anything you order there it's good.
Pad say you.
Yes.
What's different about that?
I don't know. My wife eats it.
There you go. Yeah.
It looks different than mine. I don't know. That's about it.
It's like if I tried to describe any of the salads that my wife eats. I don't know.
Well, there's a lot of
green.
different pads, like pad Thai, like he said.
Paddington.
Pad means something. I don't know what it means though.
All right. So Brandon,
noodle.
you've had like 2 seconds. What's yours?
Yeah, I really like this place called Pizza Shuttle. They do this like cream cheese pizza.
Oh my!
And I love it. They're the only place I know around here that does that. But
do they put a
I
sauce
love
on
that
it with the cream cheese.
Yeah, it's like some cream cheese sauce. I don't know exactly what it is,
so it's like
but
a white sauce base.
Yeah.
On this thing.
Yes.
What's your protein of choice on that?
Probably just pepperoni.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple.
Can't beat a freaking pepperoni pizza, can
Yeah.
you? I mean, that's just
pep.
Yeah. They make one here in town that uses 3 different kinds of pepperoni, and that's the one I always go to. Like,
who does that?
Well, you get the big ones, you get the regular ones, and then you get those little ones that cup up.
Crisp up.
Okay.
Yes.
And you get all crispy on the. Oh boy, yeah.
Who makes that?
I want to say Mario's, but that's not right. It's whatever that place is. Mario's, Maybell's. I don't know, whatever their name is. They're like a block and a half from my house. So.
Oh yeah, Marcos.
There it is. Yeah, Marcos for the win. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. I hope that we can set one of these up again so that you guys can come in and maybe visit us on an actual episode day. That would be really cool.
That'd be great.
Just drag you guys through one of those episodes. But tell us what's coming up on your show. What we've got to look forward to. By the way, how many episodes are we talking about?
So we're doing like one a week.
Okay.
But again, like he had a baby, I've got a baby coming up in like about a month. So we've scaled back.
And congratulations to you. Yeah.
Thank you. We've scaled back to like one every other week. So we've slowed down a little bit from where we were. So is
this first babies for both of you, or?
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Wow. Chris, it's your first one as well.
Correct. Yeah, he just turned 1 this month. So
all right,
awesome.
We got a he over there. What about Brandon?
We got a boy too coming.
Oh, wow.
I just had one in September. That was my
nice.
third.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's my third son. I have 3 sons.
He has 3 sons.
I'm so
Nice.
proud of sons.
I have 5 children, and they're all moved out. So, but I'm old as hell, so that's that's to be expected, I guess. All right, guys. Well, we really enjoyed talking to you. Enjoyed meeting you. Thank you for your time on a Sunday morning.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
This will be the Friday episode, and I think people will really reach out and go to your podcast. So give us the best plug you can, and give us all your socials and stuff.
Yep. All right. Did you want like a plug like right now?
Yeah.
Or just send?
Yeah.
No, tell me.
Yeah, you can plug it in right now. Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to play a
live
sound.
plug.
I'm just saying, tell me the best thing about your show. Tell people why they should listen to it and where they can find you.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think my brother and I, we're best friends. We get along super well, and I think that kind of comes through.
That's awesome.
We're just kind of laughing and making fun stuff basically their whole way throughout while learning a little something we were curious about.
Yeah. That's excellent. Where can they find you guys?
We're on Instagram at shortpourpod, and then we're also available if anyone wants to send in a recommendation on beer or topics at shortpourpod@gmail.com.
Heck yeah. Have y'all done the Alamo beer?
We have not actually.
Okay.
Well, if y'all happen to do the Alamo beer, and you want us to be a guest for that one would be fun
Happy
for
to.
us.
Yeah, would love
Oh
to.
yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be
Also,
awesome.
if you guys will privately, not here over the air, send us an address. I'll see if I can't find some Alamo beer around here and send it to you, because I would assume it's a lot easier to find here than it is there.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I haven't
never
seen
seen
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly thought you were punking us. I didn't even realize it was a real thing.
No, not at all.
Well, actually, there is. I think it's a beer company out of San Antonio.
It is. Yeah.
That with the revival. See, with the revival of the
make
new
it out
show,
of
a bunch of stuff's happening.
Yeah.
So there's a beer that's supposed to be official with like Mike Judge and King of the Hill.
I think
and
they're
everything.
making it out of the Pearl factory, because San Antonio is known for Pearl beer.
Yeah.
And so they have like a decommissioned Pearl brew huge brewery campus, right, that they've decommissioned, but they've left it called the Pearl, and they've got all these fancy restaurants and all this stuff.
I know
in
what you're
it.
talking about.
Yeah.
But it was a beer thing.
Pearl is
I didn't know that.
Pearl is still huge in San Antonio, and I believe it's going through them.
Yeah, but it's going to be like an officially licensed Alamo beer.
Yeah.
So that would be cool to try to get y'all.
If you guys get us an address,
that's awesome.
I'll make that commitment to where I send you a 6-pack if I can find them.
They're also
that'd be awesome.
King of the Hill to Fortnite.
Yeah, King of the Hill and Fortnite. So there you go.
Yeah.
So your children are already ruined. There he is.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Tell us the name of your pod one more time.
Short Pour Pod.
Short Pour Pod.
Short
Real easy to
Pour
say,
Pod.
easy to remember. Please go listen to these guys. Chris, Brandon, thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you,
Y'all
guys.
Have a great day.
Thank you,
All right,
guys.
Yeah, you too.
We'll see you.
Bye.
Okay, I'm going to make a cut here. Let's see. This is 46:21.
I'm gonna go watch more of their pod. I listened to a little bit of it. It's pretty good.
46:21 to credits. All right, cool. Well, that's a Friday. That's good, huh? Okay. All right. So that is a Friday. So now let's do our normal one. And blah, blah, blah. I hope you're still there. We will include you here in just a second. Let me get the things up. I had to take the barnyard down. Okay. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to BWAAA, King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I am Rusty.
We took a week off because it is our God-given right to take off and hide eggs in any place we want to and shoot them with our guns.
We don't usually take a week off, so
we really don't. We really don't. There was no way I was going to be available on Easter. And plus you got a bunch of kids, and so we decided to take a week off, and we certainly hope that you guys are still here, still involved, and thank you for being who you are. Blah blah blah. You are the first one here. You get that award. Thank you very much. As you guys know, we record these on a Sunday.
Sunday,
and I'm going to give you a heads up. Next Sunday is my birthday, so I will not be here. Now, I will talk to Mason about you guys maybe doing a little short thing or something.
Yeah, we could do
fill
something.
in. But we'll be back on that Friday. And then after that, we should get rolling again, just like normal. But anyway, that brings us to today, which is season 7, episode 17, or in the year of our Lord 7, ABE 13, The Good Book.
The Good Book.
Obviously, a play on words for the Bible, The Good Book.
The Good Book,
Yeah.
This is actually the 143rd episode of King of the Hill.
All right.
And it was written by Alex Gregory and Peter Huck and directed by Alan Jacobson.
Alan Jacobson and Clay Hall. And you said Alex Gregory? Who'd
it
you say
was-
were writers?
Alex Gregory and Peter Huck.
How do you spell Peter? Huck.
Huck would be Huyck. BWAAA.
I feel like he's done one before, right?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
I think they're a writing duo.
Okay.
I think most of the episodes that they've written together.
This was originally aired. It was March 30th, 2003. Artie, how are you? Hello. Good morning. Peace be with you. This says Hank and Peggy become concerned when the leering Buck Strickland ends up in Luann's Bible study class. Bobby skips gym to have tea and scones at the posh Hotel Arlen. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this part because that B storyline with Bobby could have just thrown that right in the trash because it ended up doing nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, there is nothing that came out of that thing. I mean, it's funny to see Bobby go through these little things, but it felt like there was no conclusion to it other than get over there, and he was done. You know, that was about it.
That was it.
So,
yeah.
But the episode in and of itself is a good one. So we start at Strickland. Hank is over there. He's getting ready for the day's sales. He's straightening a picture of him and Buck on the wall because God knows that's his that's his feedback. You see Hank starts walking through there, talking to the people that work there. He sees Joe Jack. Oh, how's it going, Joe Jack? I lost my bathroom key again, honey. He says, oh, Mr. Strickland, because he comes in. You hear the Yellow Rose of Texas horn on his giant Cadillac car. What is it? How does that go? No, that's not it. All I can hear is our theme now. Yeah. Anyway, Yellow Rose of Texas plays on his horn on his Cadillac car. And Hank's like, oh, Mr. Strickland. He comes in through the door and he looks rough. Like he looks like he just got hit by that car.
Yeah, he looks real rough.
He goes, yeah, Hank, I lost a pile of money and a pair of Italian loafers on that sleaze bag Lane Pratley. Oh, and can you cancel the morning run to Strickland North? I lost that too. I got to take my mind off my boo-hoos. Donna, find me that website where that elephant does his business on a man's head.
All right. You can actually, I don't know about websites with elephants pooping on people, but there's actually a website where you could
sounds perfect for today.
Send elephant poop to somebody's house.
Really?
Yeah,
actual elephant poop.
Like you could send, like, if it's
it's all filler.
Somebody that you're disgruntled with or something like that. Maybe say your neighbor did something to piss you off or something, and you want to be and they'll send it anonymously, and they'll send a box full of animal shit.
Oh, they send it anonymously?
Yeah,
it seems like a threat at that point.
You know? It does almost. Imagine stepping out and you've got a box full of shit. Exactly. It's not even a burning box full of shit.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is there like something where they can upsell you, where somebody will follow it over there and set it on fire whenever they set it down?
That's what I'm saying.
And how long does elephant poop burn? I would imagine it was.
It's probably a biofuel.
Yeah. I've got a buddy that he used to have a little business on the side.
I thought you were going to say you had a buddy that had an elephant.
No, he had a little business on the side called I Give a Crap. It was igiveacrap.com. I don't think it's there anymore, but basically you could go on there and order a box of fake dog poo, and it would include a little note like, I give a crap because you're the best person in the world, or whatever.
That's a crazy idea.
And then you would send it to them, and they would open it up and they'd get the fake little dog poo with a little note, which I always thought it was a good idea.
That's interesting.
This same guy, though, he's working on a thing now where he takes these little, like almost like old school medicine bottles, and he cuts the heads off of action figures.
Okay.
He puts them in the bottle and then fills it up with resin and then sells the bottle with the head in it. So think about this. You could have like two bottles, maybe one of them's green and one of them's not. One of them's got Scully's head in it, and the other one's got Mulder's head in it. So you got the X-File.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just told him, I said, it's not a bad idea at all. I mean, you get these old. I said, the only thing is you got to be ready. These people on the internet will start yelling at you because you're tearing up these action figures.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because
I used to piss off comic book collectors because for a little while I was selling advertisements for old video games.
Yeah.
So
out of the books.
And I wouldn't. The thing is I would just buy like boxes and boxes of comics.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even look through to see what I had to see if I had anything that was worth anything. I would just immediately rip the ads out of them.
Yeah. And then people would get pissed off because you're ripping up comic books.
Because I'm destroying comic books. But, and not only destroying comic books without knowing what I'm destroying. I was just ripping ripping ads out.
Like I said, we used to rip up Pokemon cards in front of the camera, and people would get very angry about that.
Yikes!
Even though they're shitty ones. I mean, they weren't good ones.
Yikes!
All right, so now we're in Buck's office. Hank comes in there. Buck has his head down on the desk because he is feeling like hot garbage. Sir, I don't like to ask personal questions, but are you okay? I mean, what a personal question to ask, huh? I mean, that's really digging into somebody.
Personal, yeah.
My wife threw me out. I goes, what? He goes, yeah. I had Donna over at the house, and the old crow found us in flagrante on the credenzi. He doesn't say credenza. He says credenzi.
The credenzi.
On the credenzi. It's all over. She said, you can handle drinking bitches and my gambling, even turn a blind eye to extramarital escapades, but not when they happen all at once and on her birthday. I don't know what to do anymore, Hank.
Maybe.
And he starts crying. I mean,
cheat on your
that's
wife.
what I'm
for
saying.
one, yeah.
That's really the only thing. He starts crying. And Hank has to turn away and goes, oh, there, sir. I mean, that's his entire. That's how he tries to make Buck feel better. All right, so now we're over at Tom Landing Middle School. They are getting ready to do cross country. So, I did not remember. I thought it was weird that they were out on the street when they were talking about cross country, but then I remember, I remember all these kids that would run down the sidewalk and all this stuff all around. That's all cross country.
There's not a whole lot of, I mean, if you're in town, there's not a whole lot of country to cross.
Not a lot. Not a lot of country to cross.
So whenever they would practice at my high school, they would, there was like a path that they would run, but it was kind of like the perimeter of the school, but they would run on the street, kind of like around the school kind of thing.
So the coach, I don't know that they ever give us the coach's name here, but
we could look.
But he sounds like every other coach. He's got the exact same voice as all the other coaches.
Here.
He says, today we start cross country every day for the next 2 weeks. You kids are going to be running. For those of you a little overweight or not athletic, this will be difficult, but so will life. He goes, now go.
They have a generic name for the coach, Tom Landry, PE coach.
Yeah,
was voiced by Toby Huss.
See, Toby does all of those coaches. Like he did the crazy coach too. And
Klingheimer or whatever his name is.
Yeah, and you can hear his voice in this. You can hear the same thing.
That dude's a nutcase though.
So they take off running. Of course, Bobby runs past last. He's just like dragging his feet. He goes, Coach, if you don't mind, I prefer to play to my strengths. Why don't I just hang back and hold the clipboard? He goes, move it, Hill. And so he takes off running. All of them are running around town. And Bobby kind of jogs up next to this girl and says, hey, Maggie, if we stay together, neither one of us will be last. Maggie says, I let you hide behind me in dodgeball. I'm through with you. And she runs off.
Hide behind you in dodgeball. That's funny.
He goes, he's running and he looks over and he sees in the Hotel Arlen, you can see in the windows, right? People eating and things like that. He sees people with little canapes and small cakes, and basically they're having high tea.
Yeah, they're having a high tea, which is a really neat experience, to be honest with you. I've had it a few times in the old country.
In the old country,
where they have places that are specifically they just do little tea, but it's cool because they'll bring out like one of them 3-tiered things. Yeah. But it'll be like
it's like that little 3-tier,
a watercress sandwich or like a cucumber sandwich. Now, so they'll bring like little finger foods out.
Let's just real quick. I'd like to visit the concept of a watercress sandwich.
Okay.
So tell me what's on a watercress sandwich. Is it just lettuce and bread?
Well, when I was a kid, my mom would make. It would be like watercress and cucumber, or it would be watercress and butter.
Yes, Coach Sowers already. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
that's a big sandwich condiment. Is butter in England? Like not even on toast, just butter just on bread.
Regular bread,
and sometimes just butter and a piece of bread.
So flavorful.
Well, you got to think though, the butter that we eat here, the country crock, that's what you find in most homes, the country crock butter.
Yeah.
That's like 80.
It's just oil.
9% not butter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now my wife and I, we buy regular butter sticks, but like real unsalted
butter.
Yeah,
like butter. Yeah, that's what my mom gets and stuff for cooking. I mean, that's what when we were growing up, that was like a cooking butter. But like if you wanted to butter your bread, it was like country crock.
I was watching Landman, that one with Billy Bob Thornton.
Amazing show.
It's a pretty good show, with the exception of the wife and the daughter. They're
a little annoying.
I don't like that.
That's a little too much.
The girl, she is staying in the house that he lives in out in the oil fields, and she goes in and she asks for like tanning lotion. He says they don't have any. She goes, okay, you got any butter? They don't have any. She ends up getting Crisco and putting it on and going
covers
out there,
herself in Crisco. Is shortening. Yeah,
that seems like a really good way to go to the hospital.
Probably so. Yeah, I imagine it would cook your skin pretty
quickly.
Rough. I finally watched Common Side Effects all the way through.
Oh, did you? Yeah,
man, that's an amazing.
It's pretty
show.
good, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. It's
really
not. It's not fall down hilarious. It's just a good show.
Yeah, it's just a good show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got some funny bits to it, and like the whole premise is funny. And then like I really like I think Mike Judge's character, the CEO.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty.
He's very good at that. Good. Yeah. Did you see the ad? This has nothing to do with King of the Hill, but it does have to do with reboots. Did you see the ad for the last Cheech and Chong movie?
I've seen a couple of.
Yeah, they are doing a last movie. So
the commercial that
it premieres at 4:20 p.m. on 4/20. So
also it's already out.
I don't know if it came out this 4/20 or if they're planning for next 4/20. Yeah.
Well, I know that the commercial that I saw was it was like them two sitting inside of a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
And they step out of it, and of course, when they step out, like
big plume of
smoke pours out, and they're like, I can't remember what Cheech was wearing, but Tommy Chong's in like crushed velvet, like he's in like a velvet or a velour like jumpsuit kind of thing, like a joggers with like a zip up pullover kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then it just said the last movie, which it's kind of like they're like. I kind of compare them to like Willie Nelson, not even in the smoking thing, but in the fact of their longevity and their careers and relevancy.
They could have been doing something together all along.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody would have given up.
Well, you got to think there's a lot of people that were around when they were starting out in comedy and stuff like that. There's quite a few people that are, I mean, not a whole lot, but there's a few people that are still alive that aren't household names from that era. So the fact that they've been able to stay relevant this whole time is crazy.
One of the ones that I always appreciated Cheech and Chong for was Paul Rubens. Paul Rubens or Pee-wee showed up in I think a couple of the Cheech and Chong movies. He was always like the weirdo or whatever, Yeah,
he had that. They had him in some of their movies
because he was in, I don't know which one they were in, Groundlings or whatever, but he was running in that same community, comedy community at that time. No, I don't think so. Oh. But there is. I was a big fan of his, and I understand what happened today. It would be zero scandal, but he filmed a documentary about his life before he died, and it's about to premiere on HBO.
Paul Rubin
I am
did?
very excited about that.
Yeah, well,
I thought
that's
the guy was
they
super
say
funny.
he came out as gay posthumously, so that might be a part of.
I'm sure it's part of it.
He
goes in the preview of it. He goes, "Oh, and I'm going to leave out the part where we did huge amounts of drugs." He goes, "Oh, wait, I guess I just included that."
Well, I imagine
he's a funny guy.
They grew up in an era where you could do drugs and not die.
Absolutely. So it was him. Or it was Cheech and Chong and Letterman, I think, were the two influences that really had him rise to fame.
Paul Rubin.
Yeah.
Well, Letterman was that guy.
Letterman
for a long
loved
time.
him. He loved him. I just remember the first time I saw Paul Rubens on Letterman. I'm gonna break dance, and he goes, "Okay, go ahead." He starts throwing stuff on the ground and breaking it as he's dancing.
Yeah. I like that.
Really stupid.
I like that. Like him and Andy Kaufman,
Andy Kaufman.
Well, they got a new guy that kind of does that same vein of comedy that a lot of people shit on. He's part of the Kill Tony atmosphere.
What's his name?
His name's Casey Rocket.
Huh.
And a lot of people shit on him because
was he on I thought he was on something I watched.
I'm not sure if he's been on anything big, but I know he's a part of the Kill Tony atmosphere, and he does that kind of style of comedy where you're like, is this really funny? He has this deal where he'll do his whole set and he'll be like, the Dutchman's key, and then he's done his whole set with a key in his mouth.
Wow.
He'll pull a key out.
There's a girl, Sarah something, on Saturday Night Live who is a weirdo and a half, and I think she would be hilarious kind of doing that alt comedy type stuff. She does some of it on Saturday Night Live, but you can tell that they are making her kind of calm it down for the show.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
not be so weird.
Well, that's what Casey Rocket's like, but
Yeah.
with Kill Tony, like his whole thing is do your thing. So, but he's a part. Not only is he part of the atmosphere of Kill Tony, he's
up there.
He's like one of the golden ticket
He's a manager
guys or whatever. Yeah. So he's I think he's hilarious. He does just weird shit like he'll like squat and then pop back up and go Maybach music or just do weird just weird shit. Or
already brought up Carrie Goldbutter.
Carrie Goldbutter is good.
Yeah.
Or what was one that he did? The world is a vampire. Like he'll just say like song lyrics,
just says stuff
do
like
weird
that, huh?
stuff.
Huh.
Like I don't know. He's
I'll look him up.
Or he'll have props where he'll pull out. He had this one bit where he said he's been having fever dreams about him dating the Mucinex bug or whatever, and he'll like pull out like a Photoshop of him and the Mucinex bug like hugging each other. Like it's funny.
All right, so now that Bobby has seen what the other side or how the other side lives, he's looking in that window, he's seeing the high tea, and he goes, my running days are over. I'm home. Like this is where he wants to be, right?
Yeah, high tea.
So he heads inside. He goes up to the maitre d'. He's all sweaty in his gym clothes and stuff. And he goes, table for one near the air conditioner. And he goes, sorry, kid, this is high tea. We require a jacket and tie and long pants and no sneakers. He goes, doesn't passion count for anything? I mean,
yeah,
it's a great line from Bobby.
That's actually the same hotel that
the Hookers.
Where
when it was old Hotel
Cotton,
Arlen.
Yeah, Cotton tried to.
Yeah, it's always the one where they try to make it be fancy. I think it's where they do the Boggle tournament too,
Hotel
right?
Arlen.
Don't they do a Boggle tournament there?
I think so.
All right.
Hotel Arlen.
So we're at the Hill House. We got Peggy and Luann sitting in the chairs in the living room, those big high back chairs. And Luann says, my Bible study teacher is going on vacation. He won't let me be substitute teacher while he's gone. I think he's just jealous of my close relationship with Jesus. She goes, oh, Luann, give him more credit. Maybe he genuinely thinks you won't be good at it. Nice, Peggy. Good job.
There you go. Hashtag shitty Peggy already.
Luann says, nobody has any faith in me. I'm telling Jesus that you weren't any help. And she storms off. I mean, that is the most empty threat I've ever heard in my life. I'm telling Jesus.
I'm telling Jesus.
Hank comes into the room. Peggy's still sitting down. He goes, you are not going to believe what's happened at work. Buck gambled away Strickland North. It's gone. She goes, and you're surprised by this behavior? Hank, the man is lying, cheating, drunken, gambling, philandering adulterer. He goes,
I have to give that's a good word for Peggy.
Philandering adulterer?
Well, philandering
adulterer. Yeah. Well, anyway, make a good shirt. Hank says, I know he has his demons, but he's also the guy who took me under his wing and brought me into the world of propane and propane accessories. And then we get a flashback. Here goes our Scooby-Doo moment, right?
Yeah, which is one of those cool things where we get to see like some more insight into Hank Hill's past.
I would be very okay with a young Hank Hill
series. Which there's a content creator that just commented on one of our videos.
Yeah.
He goes by Squirrel Tactics on YouTube.
Haven't we had him on before?
No, he's got like 32K-ish subscribers or something. But he does all King of the Hill content. On one of the ones that he does,
he's the one that does the squirrel head.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he goes through and he actually has an episode where he goes through and takes all these little flashbacks of Hank.
Yeah.
And builds Hank's story.
Oh wow.
That's
a great idea.
Rainy Street.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
So he kind of talks through he kind of talks through it a little bit and
but how cool would that be to do a prequel? You know?
Yeah, no,
that would be cool.
I think that would be a cool thing in itself. And I kind of hope
just do one season, it'd be fine. You know,
I hope they explore since we moved to the future a little bit. I kind of hope they explore a little bit.
That would be very cool
of their past.
I would love to see that. All right, so we go to the flashback, and we're of course at Arlen's Gene West, home of those badass jeans. Hank's working. Buck is in there trying
home of the brass button Wranglers.
Right. Buck is in there trying on some pants. Hank comes walking up to him. Of course, Hank is very young. He goes, there's a money back guarantee on those. It's not the store's policy. It's just mine. He's going to give people money back if they don't like their jeans. Personally, he's going to give them money back.
That's crazy.
Buck says, you do a damn fine job selling dungarees there. Looks at his name tag, Hank. But let me tell you what I'm selling. Propane. Hank just goes, propane. And then we're at Strickland.
Yeah.
This is still in the flashback. We're at Strickland, and they're wiping tanks down. And Hank says, he was a window into an exciting world of clean burning heat. You could overhear that. He's like narrating the thing. He goes, yeah, you keep these tanks shiny and clean. They reflect more sunlight and stay cooler. That means less gas escapes through these valves here. See? And so it shows kind of how he showed Hank to begin with. He pulled him out of Chess King. Yeah, I remember a Chess King. That was mostly pleather. Chess King and James West. Yeah, those were two very big shows.
Well, we had Kestner's.
Yeah, here in town.
That's the one I remember.
Yeah,
because it used to be right here.
I didn't go in Kestner's much, but yeah.
Well,
Kestner's was a big Gene place here.
Yeah, my dad is like a honky tonk country guy.
Yeah.
So,
well, if you hung out at a mall in the 80s and early 90s, Chess King and Jeans West, because they both were thing.
Members only jackets. My dad had one of those.
Yeah, and then it became the Buckle, I think was the name of one of them, or something like that.
I recently looked up members only jackets on eBay, and why are they like $100, $200 for a jacket that was?
Tell me why 20-year-olds are wearing fanny packs. I don't know. Yeah, I got no idea.
Well, I don't think the fanny pack ever went out of style.
Oh, the fanny pack went out of style.
It did.
I personally can
not
tell
for
you
dads.
The fanny pack
it's always been utilitarian for dads.
I don't think so. I think there for a while. Well, great. That's I'm glad that people are using them. I'm just saying, I think it went out of style and then came back.
I've been using fanny packs since. Yeah. I just really think that sometimes as a man, there's some you need a little more things than you could carry in your pockets.
Nobody ever wears them on their fanny though.
No. No, that's the thing is
Unless
in England a fanny is a pussy. So
well, that's what I was saying.
When people say British, fanny and talking about the rear end, like in England a fanny is a pussy. So that's a crazy word.
Remember that, kids. In England, fanny is a pussy. So we come back to real life, and Hank's still talking. I can't turn my back on him. Without Buck, I'd be selling pants. I mean, I'd never tell him this, but I think of him as a mentor. And here's Peggy. Really? I thought I was your mentor. What an idiot.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, you got to think she's probably been with him since he's had this job.
Well, sure he has. Sure she has. But
she's been with him since his Gene West days.
How is she his mentor? And there's just no way.
just really – the funniest thing about all of this to me is you would have think that Hank would have had some – I'm not saying that sales, you can't be a man and do sales, but I always would have pictured Hank doing some kind of manly ass job. Like my dad, when my dad was 12, he worked on a chicken farm.
Well, I'm sure he did all that kind of stuff, like all the, all that kind of stuff.
Like my dad worked on a chicken farm when he was 12, and then like when he was 13, 14, he was throwing roofs and stuff like that. So when I think of like Hank Hill, I think of Hank Hill as that kind of guy, somebody who's done some kind of like manual labor job, but really just been a salesman.
Pretty much,
his whole life.
Yeah, been a salesman, but he did know how to do all that stuff.
Are Hank's hands? Does Hank have soft hands? Maybe then.
Artie's got a point here. He says he used to sell tractors. That does come up at one point.
Well, yeah, he did used to sell tractors, but he's still been a salesman. Like,
I don't think he's got soft hands.
Like,
no, he does too much work to have soft hands at this point. Too much mowing.
You think about like his at home stuff keeps his hand just enough callus on it.
Well, he played football. So he's got athleticism. He's got a little bit.
You ever shaking a modern athlete's hand? They're pretty soft.
Are they? Well, this is Hank.
I've met some because there's a lot of those, especially like with professional athletes and stuff like that. They do so much like for the job that if they're not on the job or like in season, a lot of them nowadays, since video games are so huge, there's a lot of like video game stuff. Like one of the Tennessee Titans is like a RuneScape player or something. Like we were talking about that.
That explains a lot.
A couple weeks ago. Yeah,
explains why the team is so good. All right,
so, they'll be all right.
Oh,
Cam Ward, come on.
Yeah, we'll see. Again,
a lot better than Will Levis.
It doesn't always shake out. So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're in the alley with all four of them. Hank is talking to the guys. Oh, I'm worried, fellas. Buck's never been this bad, and this time I'm afraid he's going to take the business down with him. That's a very real fear I would have as well.
Yeah, I'd have that fear Buck too. I would honestly. I would hate working for Buck in that aspect, knowing that he's a gambling man.
Yeah,
and that he not only does he just gamble his money and stuff like that, but he also gambles business assets.
He absolutely does. Yeah.
He gambled a whole
Well, I think
segment of his company away.
I think the last one we watched, he gambled Hank away.
Yeah, he gambled Hank's services.
He gambled Hank away. He was going through his drawers, all that stuff. Anyway, Dale speaks up first. He says, "You know what a friend would do? He'd get me to burn down said other friend's failing business for the insurance money. Just say the word, or don't. I'll get the signal. Just nod your head, or don't. Shut up, Dale." So we're on. See, now this to me would have been a better B story. You have
him
Dale trying to figure out how to burn Strickland down and failing at it every time.
That would be funny.
That would have been a better B story. Hank pulls up to Strickland. He sees Buck talking to some men through the window. He goes, "Oh, Buck's back on the floor." And then he goes inside and he hears Buck talking to these guys. "You got to buy this grill. I need the money. There's a horse and make all this right. You got cash? Huh? And he starts throwing up into the grill. Customers leave. He goes, "Sir, why don't I take you home?" He goes, "Oh, good idea. No, wait a second." And starts throwing up in another grill. And he's just like, "Okay, all right." And then
he's actively sabotaging his own business at this point.
He's puking in the grills. Yeah, poor Joe Jack or whoever's got to clean it up. Probably Donna. They are driving Buck home at this point. Buck has the window down. Air's coming in his face. "I'm so god dang lonely." He goes, "Hey, before I drop you off, there's someone I'd like to introduce you to. I think you two might hit it off." This is kind of weird for Hank.
Yeah.
Right? Because they end up in some church pews under the Jesus Christ stained glass in the church. I've never seen Hank drive somebody to church like this, like drag them into church, basically.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like he's actively proselytizing here.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
Father Hank.
Yeah, no kidding. He brings him in there, and Buck, of course, the first thing we see.
Rest in peace to the Pope, by the way.
True. The first thing we hear Buck say is, "Can we go yet?" "No, not until you hear me out, sir. The flame in you has grown dim. But if you'll just take your hands off the valve and let him in, the Lord will fill you with his gas," which is just a great.
That is awful.
That's a great thing to say.
That sounds absolutely awful.
Hey, so I'll leave you two here by yourselves. You probably have a lot of catching up to do. He gets up out of the pew and he leaves Buck there by himself. Next thing we see is we're back at the Hill house, of course, in bed with Hank and Peggy, or Heggy. And Peggy says, "You cannot fix Buck Strickland. He is drowning in the sea of his own addictions. If there's one thing I learned at the YWCA camp, you cannot save a drowning man."
Okay.
She's not saving anybody.
So they watch somebody drown?
Can you imagine if David says, imagine if you buy some guy's grill after Hank leaves and gets home and open it up and it's just full of puke. Yeah, that would be a lot.
I would probably return it. Call the Better Business Bureau, maybe the FDA,
no kidding,
somebody.
Right?
Can you call the FDA, the ATF, somebody?
The ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and blah. So she says you can't save a drowning man. Anyway, they go back in there. Now we're back at Strickland. We hear the Yellow Rose horn again outside. And Joe Jack looks at Hank and goes, "I used to like that song. Now it scares me." Like, I don't really blame him. I mean, every time he comes through the door, he comes in, Buck comes in looking better. "Greetings, fellow Christians. There's the shepherd that brought the lost sheep back into the fold." Talking to Hank, and Hank says, "I did? Oh, so it worked. Bless you, Hank." "Well, in fairness, I really didn't do anything. I just alley-ooped you to the Lord."
Alley-ooped
you to the Lord. He goes, "Well, you brought me to church where I met an angel who showed me the light. The woman is going to keep me on the straight and narrow path to the promised land. Praise be."
It's always a woman with him.
Praise be. And Hank goes, "Nothing but net, Lord." Nothing but net, Lord.
Nothing but net, Lord.
That is so good. All right.
Oh, Hank.
Next thing we see is Peggy and Hank. They're walking Lady Bird down the street, which you never really see them walking her. Peggy says, "I understand why God loves Buck. He has to. But what kind of pathetic doormat of a woman would fall for him?" Hank says, "Oh, come on, Peggy. I bet she's just some nice old lady who used to be a nurse or something. You know how those churchy types are. They like a fixer-upper." He says, "You know how those churchy types are," but he's the one that took him to church.
He's the one that dropped him off at church. Yeah.
All right. So they see, as they're walking down the street, they see Buck and Luann with a Bible sitting on her diving board. Luann sees him, goes, "Hey, Uncle Hank and Aunt Peggy, look who I saved." Buck's like, "Hallelujah." And then Peggy just says,
"Good Lord,
good Lord." Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and that is our first commercial break. We're going to take that, and we will be
right back.
There it is.
Join the Daily High Club, the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and accessories. Since 2015, we've sold over 1 million quality products and teamed up with legends like Snoop Dogg and Tommy Chong. Ready to elevate your smoking game? Visit dailyhighclub.com for our El Primo subscription box or shop unique pieces today.
Discover the world of luxury sex toys at Luxury Toy X and indulge in the ultimate pleasure experience. For years, we have been dedicated to the belief that sexuality and wellness are essential components of a happy and healthy life. With over 70,000 satisfied customers, we take pride in our ability to provide products that enhance your sexual well-being. Join our community of satisfied customers and unlock a world of pleasure and self-discovery. Visit luxurytoyx.com today.
Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com.
I'm Hunter, the founder of Hello Cake, and today we're digging into ED meds. The number one thing we hear is that guys are sick of waiting for ED meds to kick in. Traditional ED meds take about an hour to kick in as they have to go through your digestive system, where Hello Cake's ED medication dissolves under your tongue and works in about 15 minutes. That's about 3 times faster than traditional ED medication. Curious about ED meds? Go to hellocake.com.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness, brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Hey, we're back.
What the venue for the Willie Nelson concert? Yeah. It said explicitly, don't bring any weed or hemp products or anything like that, because there's nobody to discern what's, if it's the legal stuff or not.
Yeah.
But they sold a bunch of the THCA joints, Willie's Reserve. Is what it's called. Really? So they sold a bunch of Willie's products. There? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So when you go in, if you don't bring anything,
that won't
which a lot of
happen
people
next
still
time.
did anyway,
yeah.
They actually sell the THCA stuff there. So
yeah,
that won't happen
$30. Next time. You can thank Pat Curry and your governor
if they
and all of those guys.
If they pass it, it's not passed yet. Hopefully.
So I've been doing a live show every day of the week for a while now. Yeah. I walked away from it the other day. Hired a guy to do it every morning.
Oh, so I got somebody knocking it down 10 now.
Yeah,
that's good.
He has to be there early, so he gets there about 7:30. He gets there at 7. Zach gets there about 7:30, and then they do the show from 8 to 10, and then he has to pack up and all that stuff. But once a week, we get a call from Pat Curry, who does like the McLennan County Minute or whatever. That's the county we're in.
Yeah.
And one of the things he has mentioned multiple times is we got to get that THC outlawed.
That's what he says.
The other thing is, you're talking about, I think in the state of Texas alone, there's over 8,000 mom and pop shops around that you would basically put out of business immediately.
It would ruin a lot of industry. And not only that, there's a lot of places here in town that have built their business around legal hemp.
Yeah.
And,
Trump legalized it. It was the farm bill under Trump.
The problem is lawmakers are not scientists. They don't understand the science behind it, and they didn't understand the science behind it. And that is the reason why there is this gray area legal loophole allowing people to buy THCA. But THCA, when you light it on fire, becomes the active cannabinoid changes to the shit that's in all the other.
I want to offer a different theory. My different theory is that the liquor industry has people whispering in their ears, and they don't want anything to compete against their thing. So
yeah, it's a combination
both
of them
that,
and the cigarette companies.
Well, it's them, cigarette companies, and
anything with vices,
pills. Any of the
pharma companies,
pharmaceutical companies.
I think that's what it is it's the pharma companies, it's the alcohol companies, and I think it's because they can't get their piece of the pie.
Because in the same breath, they'll say, yeah, we got to get this THC outlawed, but yes, it is big beer, Artie. But hey, I think we're going to pass a thing where it's okay to sell liquor on Sundays. I think we're going to pass a thing where it's okay to put actual alcohol in grocery stores now, just like in other states. Oh, and by the way, I think we're going to go ahead and legalize vodka-based cocktails in cans to be sold anywhere.
Yeah.
So you tell me who they're looking out for.
Well, not only that, they say that legalizing weed will eat into alcohol's sales.
Yeah,
Alcohol sales right now are they always go up every year, and weed is legal in 32 states.
But cigarette, they're taking their cue from the tobacco industry, because look at what happened to tobacco. Tobacco got severely pummeled by.
And well, you know what the tobacco did? They got severely pummeled, and then they segued into food.
Yeah.
So if you look at the all the major food companies, they're owned by big tobacco.
Oh, sure they are. Yeah,
and that's honestly the reason why food sucks so bad, is because if you look in the 80s, when obesity started to shoot up in the late 80s, early 90s, and into today, you just look when the cigarette companies bought the food companies, and then you start looking at the ingredients in the food before they were bought out. So like once the cigarette companies bought the food, they were like, okay, well, how do I make food more addictive?
This is our welcome to our conspiracy theory podcast.
I'd
also like to say that all the aliens live in the ocean, not in the skies. So
not in the skies, they're in the sea.
Tamako, says Artie. All right, so we come
the tobacco tomato.
Yeah, tobacco tomato. We come back, and they're both still on the diving board. That is Luann and Buck. Peggy is outraged. What the hell is going on here? She goes, a private Bible study class. And Buck says, praise the Lord. She goes, Luann, Platter family conference on the patio. Ahora. Now, I don't know what ahora means.
Now.
Does it mean now? Is that in Spanish?
It's Spanish.
Okay.
It's ahora, but
okay. She says ahora. So they walk over by the house.
It means now. Let me look real quick. Yeah, it means now. Ahora.
They walk over by the house, and they're having like a little whisper session. She goes, is he hitting on you? Is he coming on to you? Has he put his hands on you? What has he done to you? I mean, didn't even give her a chance to. Yeah, it already says it means now. She goes, nothing, Aunt Peggy. I found him at the church, and he was so sad and lost. I told him about the word of God, and he volunteered me to be his private. He volunteered me to be his private Bible tutor. Me, a Bible tutor. She goes, Luann, you're on the naive side, but even you cannot be buying this horse manure. She goes, Buck is my student. I am his teacher, and the Lord is our principal. And until he rings the bell, class will not be dismissed. I love that speech right there.
I like that. Yeah.
That is the best.
I like that one. He's the principal.
We go back over to Hank and Buck talking. He goes, are you trying to date my niece, sir? He goes, now, old top, I don't blame you for thinking the worst of me, but I'm a changed man. And then Luann and them come back over. She goes, now, if you'll excuse us, we have to get back to class. They walk off. They leave Buck and Luann alone. And Buck says, Luann, it's awful hot out here. Maybe next week we could study in the pool. She goes, Bible study in the pool? Like a baptism. He goes, yeah, I'll bring my swimsuit. So he's got other plans. I mean, we knew he did.
Obviously, he's got other plans.
We go back over to Bobby. This is our B story. Bobby.
I like this right here. Yeah, this is funny.
He's fake running along with the cross-country kids. He stops in an alley. He unravels an entire suit from his fanny pack, puts it on. We got a comment from Rizza Jacks. Says, hello from Minnesota. I'm not quite caught up on your episodes yet, but I saw you were live and decided to say hi. Thank you very much. We love you too.
Thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
Yeah. You ever want to come on and give your opinion, let us know.
Yeah, we're the longest running King of the Hill podcast. Love it.
That's it. And today's the final. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, he unravels an entire suit out of his stupid fanny pack, puts it on, and goes inside into the Hotel Arlen for high tea.
Which I think it's hilarious that he stuffs a suit in a fanny pack.
It's all rolled up. He knows how to pack. You know, he rolls it.
He can do it.
He's sitting at the table in his little suit, and he's saying to the waiter, "Are these English cucumbers in the cucumber sandwiches? The regular ones come back on me." And then you've got a couple of the old ladies sitting next there for high tea, and the waiter just says, "I don't know." He goes, "Well, would you find out for me, please?" And he sends him away. The old ladies are looking at him. She goes, "Oh, it's so nice to see such a refined young man. My grandson steals from me. Would you care to join us?"
My grandson steals
from me. He goes, "Oh, that depends. Would you care to share your lemon curd?" And they just go, mm-hmm. And so he goes over to their table. Like I say, it's not the strongest B story in the world.
Not the strongest.
It is not.
I think it's funny though. I like it.
It is funny.
Even though it's kind of like nonsensical and it doesn't really have any direction.
Really
I think it's kind of funny that Bobby's sitting there having high tea. But my favorite thing is like he's like, "Are these English cucumbers?" Because the regular they
come back on me. Yeah. Well, they make him burp.
They're literally the same thing.
We go to all four of the guys in the alley. Dale starts, "Hank, you've been very unclear on this whole thing. Do you or do you not want me to burn down your workplace?" He says, "Dang it, Dale.
That's like a C plot."
That's what I'm saying.
He keeps mentioning it. Yeah.
"Dang it, Dale. I don't want you going anywhere near Strickland. Things have been great since Buck found religion." He goes, "Again, your words say no, but your body language says towards that sucker."
Yeah.
Then we see that Peggy is right there with the guys. She's up on an extension ladder, leaning against the fence, and she's got binoculars, and she's watching Luann and Buck over there on the pool. And she goes, "Unfreaking believable." He goes, "Peggy, will you knock it off? Why can't you just accept the man's been saved? Doesn't cost you anything." She goes, "They are in the pool, Hank. Luann is in her bikini. Her hair is wet, sopping wet." Like that makes a difference.
Like that makes
whether
any
it's
difference,
wet or just sopping wet. He goes, "Well, she's supposed to be giving him a Bible lesson. I'm gonna make sure it stays a Bible lesson." So he starts walking towards Luann's pool, and you hear Luann saying, "So that's why it's better to be a little bird sitting in heaven than to be the biggest, toughest grizzly bear in hell. Do you know what I mean?" He goes, "Yes." He goes, "Yay, fellowship hug." And then she hugs him, and of course she's in her bathing suit and all that stuff. He goes, "Woo, amen to that." She hugs him, and boy, you can see it. Joseph sticks his grubby ass
being a little weird, peeking over the window, or peeking over the fence,
little perv faced over the fence, and he goes, "Dude, what are you doing with her?" She goes, "This is a Bible study class, Joseph."
I think that's the funny thing too, is like he's intruding on somebody else's backyard, and he's watching her get hugged. He's like, "Dude, what are you doing with her?"
With her. He goes, "Oh yeah, I like the Bible. I like it a bunch." She goes, "Well, come on in." Joseph comes in. Of course, Buck first says, "I thought this was a private Bible tutorial." She goes, "Oh, there's enough God to go around." And then Joseph, yes, Artie says he loves Buck's heart surgery scar, which is on full display.
Yeah,
here.
He's got that massive open heart scar.
Big one. Joseph takes his shirt off. Of course, he's got the six pack. He's very athletic. He's really built and stuff, and he dives into the pool. Buck kind of feels up his scar and feels bad about himself. You know, he's got his pot belly and things. And then Hank comes around the corner and "Need another student?" She goes, "Oh, Uncle Hank, you're joining class?" He goes, "What are you doing here?" He's talking to Joseph, and he goes, "Bibling up, dude."
Bibling up, yeah.
To a grown man, he says, "Bibling up, dude." He said, "Joseph, go home." She says, "Nuh-uh, hold on. This is my Bible study class, and all of God's creatures are welcome, even Joseph. All of God's creatures are welcome, even Joseph."
Joseph, go home.
Artie says he's a member of the Zipper Club.
The Zipper
which
Club.
Is that heart scar that Buck's got. Zipper Club member. All right, so we're back at high tea, and the old ladies are talking to Bobby still. "Oh, Bobby, you are a delight. Pearl, we should fix him up with your niece." She said, Bobby says, "How old is she?" She goes, 37. 37. Again, it means nothing. It means nothing. Yes, and Artie, you're right. Joseph looks exactly like John Redcorn. We're back at the Bible pool, and everybody has their Bibles, and they're all standing in the pool. And she says, "Okay, the thing about camels going through the eye of a needle, it's not good for the camels, so you can understand why it's not good to be rich." I think she may have missed the point of that story.
I think she missed it. Yeah.
It's bad for the camels. Joseph says, "Totally. Buck says, I'm as good as broke. I'm losing everything in the divorce. So he thinks that that's a come on, I guess. I don't know. Principal Moss shows up.
Which is creepy as shit, too.
It is. This gets very creepy very
Wouldn't
quickly.
that have been her principal?
Yes. Principal Moss shows up and goes, hey, this is a Bible study in the pool class. Hank says, Principal Moss. And then Lane Prattley comes in. These guys are all in their swimsuits. They all have their towels with them. They know exactly what they're doing. They're all grown men, and they want to look at Luann in a pool. That's exactly all this is.
That's literally all it is.
Buck looks at him and goes, Prattley, rooster poop.
Rooster poop.
Rooster poop. Luann says, oh, you got my flyer. Prattley says, we sure did, Teach, and that picture does not do you justice. And then Moss says, oh, dang, I forgot my Bible. I'll just kind of look off yours here, Miss Luann. Gets real close to her and starts looking over her shoulder. I don't think he's looking at the Bible.
Nah, they're being
there might be two other reasons.
dirty old men.
Luann says, okay, but next time you better remember. Rememberness is close to holiness.
You got to remember this is pre-Pornhub.
Rememberousness
is
next to holiness. Buck says, whoa, hold on here. Hank moves Carl Moss out of the way, and he says, we don't want to distract the teacher, Principal Moss. You can look on with me. And then Prattley is swimming around Luann. He kicks him kind of out of the way. He pulls him out. So he's basically it's like Luann's in heat and all these cats are circling her or whatever.
Yeah,
all these
crazy.
tomcats.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
He goes, now, Luann, weren't you and Buck discussing the importance of the commandments and why you shouldn't covet things and such?
It's crazy how naive she is about it.
She is very naive. Buck says, yeah, as a matter of fact, Luann. And then Octavio shows up. If Octavio showed up, everybody knows about this Bible pool thing. I mean, everybody has to. At this point, Octavio knows. He comes in, hey, can I get in on this? And Buck says, well, who the hell are you? He goes, Octavio, dude. And he dives right in the pool. And Buck says, we're trying to talk about the Bible here. He comes up out of the water. He goes, oh, sure, S.A., I'm way into it. Hey, look what I got, Jesus. And he points to this tattoo on his chest. It's Rob Zombie's face.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, that's beautiful. Joseph says, hey, that's Rob Zombie. Shut up, kid. He got my Bible wet because he splashes water on him. He got my Bible wet. And then Luann says, okay, Joseph, Octavio, no more fellowship hugs. Not until you show me you're here to learn the Bible. Do not get it wet. We're back at high tea. Bobby is talking to Pearl and her friend here. And he goes, Pearl, I talked to my doctor about you yesterday, and he agrees with me. You've got to cut down on the salt. I mean, he's just part of this high tea now.
Yeah, I like how involved he always gets with stuff.
He sees the coach running around outside, and he goes, ooh, oops. He goes, he's coming in. And then he hides under the table, and he tells the ladies, just act natural and pass me the scones. The coach comes in. He sees him, and he goes, or he tells the maitre d', he goes, I thought I saw someone I know. Mind if I take a look around? The waiter says, sorry, sir, we have dress code. Ties for men, no two tops for the ladies. Coach goes, So we cut back. We're back at the pool. Bill's there now. So that fills out your roster.
There you go. Yeah.
If you were playing creepy old man bingo, you got it.
You got it.
Yeah. That is
pretty much every creepy dude on the show is here.
That's a diagonal bingo for you. Joseph says, so Paul named Saul until he saw Jesus on the road to Damascus and changed his ways.
Yeah, Artie said it's the founding members of the Arlen Incel Club.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What it is. Which is kind of weird, though. Like, I can understand Joseph being that way, but like Lane Prattley, car dealer.
Well, even Buck.
Oh, decent amount of money.
Buck's always hanging out with prostitutes and stuff. I mean, I guess because he's losing all his
money. I want to know,
but
see, that's the thing. I don't think the show ever talks about. If it does, then I'm misspeaking here. But I don't think they ever really talk about Buck's past. Like, where did Buck grow up? How did Buck grow up? Did Buck like serve in World War II? Like, what about Buck's like background makes him be that way?
You get a few drop-ins here and there, but you don't hear a lot about Buck's past. It's mostly about his ex-wives and stuff.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, how old is Buck? Did he serve in World War II like Cotton? Is he that old? Is he older than Cotton, younger than Cotton? That kind of thing.
I think he's only a few years older than Hank, honestly. I mean, especially when you look back at Hank working at Jeans West and that, I mean, because Buck was pretty young there too.
Yeah.
So she hears Joseph say something about Saul and Paul, and she goes, "That's right, fellowship hug." And he goes, "Oh boy!" And so they have a fellowship hug, which just means a wet Luann hugging you. And then you hear, so when the Bible says he without sin should cast the first stone, what it's saying is, and Buck says, it's saying, I mean, they're all trying to talk over each other at this point. They're all trying to get, yeah, he does have a son that he calls Ray Ray. That's right. We find
I remember the
out
son,
later.
yeah.
Yeah. And so he says, it's saying, and Prattley says, what it's saying is we should look at our own sins, try to be better people. Buck says, yes. And then you hear Octavio, but if you're sure you can't be a better person, just acting all righteous and stuff. It says here in the book of Acts, and wait, the red letters are the Jesus words, right? And then Hank says, Luann, if Buck could just, and then Buck stands up and he says, I've got a testimony. Now, you all may have read the story of the prodigal son, but fellow Christians, I have lived it. I have strayed far and long from the path of the righteous. I have sinned. I have lied. I have fornicated on stolen antique furniture. Very specific. He says, but I will tell you, the good Lord sets the most beautiful table for the son who's eaten from the most dumpsters. And then Peggy is back there with her binoculars, and you just hear her go, huh? Like that convinced her that Buck has changed his ways.
Yeah, but not me.
So we go now to the Hill house. They are both sitting in the chairs in the living room. And Peggy says to Hank, wow, I have to admit, Buck is a changed man. Luann must be one heck of a Bible teacher. Hank, and she's so quick to be convinced about things. I mean, she's
really
just so
convinced.
quick to be convinced. Hank says, yep, I guess she really got through to him. And all that time in the water's been good for his phlebitis. Now, I don't know what phlebitis is, but it's been good for it.
I don't know what that is either.
We hear the doorbell ring, and they both get up to go to the door, which is weird. There stands Buck, and he says, sorry to interrupt, but I had some very important to tell you two. I'm an old-fashioned man, and as Luann's nearest unincarcerated kin, I wanted to be the first to know that I'm going to ask Luann to marry me. And they're both very, very shocked. And while they're standing there shocked, we go to our second commercial announcement. And after that, we will be
right back.
There it is.
OsleyMD.com.
I've always had thin hair my whole life. It breaks off at a certain length. In the last 6 months, I've noticed it just really bad. I mean, you could totally see it. I wear a hat a lot. I tried several different products. My experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
OsleyMD.com.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Since 2003, we've been connecting buyers and sellers, providing access to sold-out events at prices lower than most secondary market options. Whether it's sports, theater, or concerts, our massive nationwide network ensures you get the tickets you want, guaranteed. For the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. That's TICKETLIQUIDATOR.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Doing the trainers.
Hey, we're back.
We're back.
We were just talking about watching movies and stuff. I took a complete day off yesterday. I didn't do anything around the house. I just watched TV.
And you just got super stoned and watched TV?
I was very tired because we had a live show.
Yeah, how did the live
before.
show go?
It went real well. It was
Bloody Happy Hour.
Bloody Happy Hour, and Claire Saint Amant, she is Saint Amant. She told me how to say her name. She does a show called Final Days on Earth / Justice Pending. So it's two different shows. One's weekly and one goes in seasons. But she used to be a producer on 48 Hours and 60 Minutes. She's just written the book. You can see it behind me.
Is she from here, or she just moved here?
She moved here. She's from Dallas.
Okay.
But she taught over at Baylor for a little bit. She was teaching some podcasting classes and stuff over there. I was able to go over and guest lecture and things. But she has just gotten a show greenlit on Discovery.
Oh, wow.
About serial killers and a Texas Ranger who hunts them down. And
it's
more of a biography, true crime kind of thing.
Yeah.
But she's also moving into scripted stuff, is what she was telling me, which I think is very cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. It's awesome to have somebody like that around.
No kidding, man. Yeah, I don't know
It's
that
helpful.
I wouldn't have met her without this place. So, all right. So they closed the front door. We left them in complete shock at the front door with Buck saying he's going to marry Luann.
Which is crazy.
It is.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
insane.
Super
Why would you
crazy.
even say that?
Well, it's not even been given any sort of idea that Luann wants this either, you know?
Not at all.
So they close the door and Hank says, wow, Buck and Luann.
Oh,
Wow.
Sorry. I didn't mean to
No, you're
interrupt
good.
you. I looked up phlebitis.
Yeah, what's phlebitis?
So phlebitis is trauma to a vein. So it's kind of like like thrombophlebitis.
Yeah,
It's like
thrombosis.
Thrombosis.
Yeah, I get that.
So it can occur with or without a blood clot. It can affect surface or deep veins, but it's like a vein trauma. So redness, warmth, and pain in the affected area. So
I can see how a pool would help.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
can see.
All right, so he says, just wow.
Well, there was I got a quick story.
Yeah.
There was one time
about phlebitis.
No, I was working at M&M's. It was when I was younger. I was in my mid-20s at the time, and there was a woman in her mid-40s or late 40s at M&M's that would keep cutting eyes at me, and I guess eventually somebody had asked me, hey, whatever you enter. I was like, well, I don't even, So she came up and talked to me, like gave me her phone number and stuff like this. Well, we ended up having sex, and then I realized when I looked down and I saw her legs, and she had varicose veins in her legs. I was like, damn, man, I'm really out here having sex with an old lady. Like, what am I doing? Thrombosis makes me think of like varicose veins and stuff like that.
Well, that's a very encouraging story, I guess.
Well, I mean, it was just.
I get it, sure.
Just probably the oldest lady that I'd ever had sex with at that point in my life.
So Peggy responds to the wow factor that Hank is having, and she says, well, I guess it was inevitable. Women from broken homes always look for a father figure. I guess technically Buck is more of a grandfather figure, but I guess that might even be healthier. Well, there, I've made it palatable for myself. I mean, she talks herself into it, right? Hank says, and Luann's been pretty good influence on Buck. Did you see him? He was clean cut, polite. He wasn't even sweating vodka. And when Buck's in good shape, so Strickland propane. He wasn't even sweating vodka. I, for one, can tell you how that feels. I have sweat vodka before.
Yeah, I've sweat
I do not
whiskey. I actually have a scar on my thumb. Anymore. You can't really see. You might be able to see it. That scar right there. I had bought a half gallon of whiskey, and I was up in a group chat with friends on the computer.
Yeah.
And this is like 2008 or 9-ish. And I'm just sitting there taking shots, drinking. We're all laughing on the group chat or whatever. And next thing I know, I look down, and it's like 4 a.m. and I got work in like 2 hours, and I've drank a good, half to about 3/4 of this half gallon of whiskey. And I still have to go to work. So I laid down for 2 hours. I was working with my dad at the time. So my dad came up and woke me up, and I got in the car with him, and he was like, man, he's like, dude, you were pouring whiskey out of your pores.
Yeah.
And he said, are you even like,
yeah.
should I even take you to work?
Right,
and I was like, no, I'll be okay. So I rode with them. We stopped at the convenience store. I got 2 big orange juices and a massive honey bun. And I slammed the orange juices, ate the honey bun, and I felt a little bit better, but I was still so drunk.
Oh, sure.
That like I was sawing on something, and I'd slipped with being drunk and cut myself. And my dad was like, are you sure? Are you sure you're good? And I was like, well, you know, I gotta use the bathroom real quick. So I went in there and forced myself to puke so I would feel better. But yeah, I don't miss that very, very often. I don't miss that feeling.
No, I don't miss that feeling either. If you look at my hand here, this finger,
a little wonky.
It does not rest in the right place. And it's because I punched a wall real hard one time, and
now the wall will do it. Well, that's the thing I found out about walls and trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, they don't move.
They don't move one bit. No. They are very stoic.
No, I'll give you a hint here, guys. Punch a person, not a wall.
Punch a person.
Yeah, they'll move.
Yeah.
So he says, you know, Buck's in good shape, and so
but only in video games.
That's true.
Yeah.
He says so is Strickland Propane. Peggy says, Hank, do you realize if they marry, Buck will be our nephew? What a weird world that'd be.
Yeah.
Hank says,
I was gonna say Uncle Buck. That's a good movie.
True.
Yeah, but he'd be the nephew Buck.
He says, you know, Buck will probably lose his house in divorce and move in with Luann. He and I could drive to work every day. I mean, they're really starting to talk themselves into where this is a good world, you know, with him being their nephew.
A 60-plus-year-old man with a 20-year-old girl.
Nope.
Yeah,
with heart problems, several divorces, no money.
Iffy.
Okay, so now we go over to Luann's kitchen where Buck is about to try to propose to her. He says, Luann, you've changed this ornery old jackass into a noble pack mule, but this mule doesn't want to walk life's treacherous mountain path alone. Luann Platter, will you have me as your husband? Luann goes, oh my God, of course not. I mean, you could not respond worse to an old man.
Oh my God, no, of course not. What do you
of course
mean?
not. He goes, gibbet. I mean, I've never heard him say that, but he said gibbet. And she goes, Mr. Strickland, that is so crazy. You're very nice, but you're totally old. I like young guys who love Jesus, but have fitness and hair. That's a rough thing.
That is rough.
And then fitness and hair.
And then this whole next line of thought is kind of crazy too.
He runs out into the driveway. He runs into Peggy and Hank, and he goes, No, you see, she spurned me. I've been spurned. Hank says, she what? He goes, she toyed with my affection. She was only doing it to get me to the Lord. How sick is that? Hank says, sir, wait. Luann.
That'd be a good shirt with Buck all like half drunk on it. She spurned me.
And he says, Luann, what happened? She goes, oh, Buck just wanted to marry me. I said no. He goes, well, look, he looked pretty upset. And when Buck's upset, he drives straight into his addiction. She goes, oh, that's okay. He's totally addicted to Jesus now. She sometimes proves that she is not the smartest person in the world.
She's definitely not. I don't think she's too bright for sure.
So we're back at high tea with Bobby and his old ladies. Artie wants to know, she spurned me. And so we're doing a blindfold tea test now with Bobby. He's got a blindfold on and they're trying different teas out on him. He goes, Earl Grey. Come on, give me a tough one. And then you see the coach walk in. The coach has a jacket and a tie just like draped over him just so he can fit the thing.
Yeah, so he can get in the door.
Yeah.
I was going to say Earl Grey is actually my favorite tea.
I know that from
my email. Yeah. So as a young child, when I'd go to my grandma's house, she would me and my sister were kind of conniving and we were liars. And my sister, when she was young, she had a weight problem.
Yeah.
And what we would do is my mom would feed us a full breakfast. My mom never did not feed us. And we had my grandmother convinced that my mother was neglecting us at breakfast time because we lived on the same street as my grandma and we walked to school. So we would leave, we would eat like my sister planned all this, not me. I was just a part of it because she was she's 6 years older than me, so she was the schemer on this one.
Sure.
So by the time I started school at like 4, she was 10. So she had this plan all set up, and we would leave early from our house, and we would start walking to school. Well, on the way to school, after we got done eating breakfast at my mom's, we would go to my grandma's. And she would be like, "Oh yeah, Mama didn't feed us. We're
That's
hungry."
pretty damn devious for a kid.
So
you know,
my grandma would cook us another whole breakfast.
Oh shit!
So I'm like, but I'm getting pinched by my sister to not say, "Don't you say anything." So my grandma would cook us breakfast, and she would always make an Earl Grey. But if I stayed the night with her too, that was like the drink she would make me. And what they call I think the correct term for it is a London fog, which is just milky tea. Okay. So my grandma would put milk in my Earl Grey with a little bit of sugar to make it for like a kid. You know, a kid doesn't want to just drink straight black tea. But Earl Grey is one of the best. I feel like black teas.
I think it'd be great if your username was Milky. What would you say?
Oh, Milky Tea.
You said Milky
That's
tea.
actually a really good. That's not a bad one. That's a pretty good username.
So the coach comes running in. He's got his clothes on just enough to get through the door, and he goes, "Bobby Hill, you just ate your last thingy, muffin, pastry, whatever. Move it." And that is the end of storyline B. That is how it ends. And
I liked it though.
It is so
funny.
unfulfilling though.
It is. I wish there was more to it. I wish there was more like I don't know, more to the plot of that. But I still think it's. I think they could do a whole episode of Bobby at a tea house.
Well, and this may be one of those things where we take the B storylines and just put all those together and make a thing out of them.
To follow all the B plots and see what kind of happens with that. Yeah,
so the old ladies are super shocked, but he drags him out of there. We're back over at Strickland now. Hank is dealing with a customer, and he goes, "Congratulations, Mr. Feibel. I'll be out there tomorrow to personally hook up your new tanks." And he hangs up the phone. You hear the Yellow Rose horn again. Then you hear a crash. You see a very drunk and disheveled Buck come in through the door, and he said, "Yeah, well, what are you all looking at, you heathens?" He tries to drink from the bottle, straight from the bottle right there. And Hank says, no, sir, not on the premises, and certainly not during business hours. It's fine then, Hank. Let you and me go bet on the ponies. I'll just get some cash from the safe. He goes, "Oh, don't bother, sir. I changed the combination. But it's always been my birthday." "Well, now it's my birthday." "You've been here 20 years. I know your birthday. I know it. It's September 22, 29. He goes, 29, and he passes out, hangs up. Hank balls up his jacket, puts it under his head for a pillow, and he's out, right? He is out to the world. Later, Buck starts to wake up. He sees Hank, and Hank is over there wiping tanks. And he goes, "Hank, I'm sorry." He goes, "Yeah, I know." He goes, "Don't we have a boy who comes in and does this?" He goes, "Yeah, but the better these tanks are polished, the more sunlight they reflect, the cooler they stay, and the less propane escapes through that valve." That's exactly what he had told him in the flashback.
Yeah, in the flashback.
The first time he was exposed to it. He goes, "Yeah, that valve. Yeah, I taught you that." He goes, "Buck, maybe Lou Ann in her Bible class in the pool was his way of getting your attention so you could see what's really important." He goes, "Yeah, propane's been good to me." Artie says September. And he goes, "Well, Lady Propane's been good to all of us, sir." He goes, "Oh, Lady Propane." He sits down and he starts wiping a tank with Hank. And Hank says, "That's a perfect swirl, sir." He goes, "Maybe I could get rid of all my old addictions, get myself hooked up solely on propane. And maybe, I don't know, just one other thing, keep things spicy."
Yeah.
He says, "Boy, these 5,000-gallon heifers look pretty at sunset, don't they?" He goes, "Oh, they sure do. And those are 1,000-gallon and it's sunrise." And that's it. We can see credits roll.
Those are 1,000 gallons.
Those are 1,000 gallons, and it's sunrise. Couldn't be different. We see the credits, and then after credits, we get fellowship hug. Oh boy! So we get her giving a fellowship hug.
Whoa, the fellowship hug.
And that is it for
that is it.
Season 7, Episode 17, The Good Buck.
That is it.
Originally from March 30th, 2003.
Yep.
So you want to tell us where they can find us anytime else?
They could still find us at BWAAA on all social medias. And we like emails. As you've seen, as you'll see in our Friday episode, we had some guests. So if you want to be a guest on our show, email me at BWAAAKOTH@gmail.com. That's for anybody. If you've got a podcast, you just want to be a guest on the show.
Yep.
I've got a few more that I've got to line up and stuff like that. Kathy Howley.
Kathy.
Heart,
Thanks for being
heart,
here,
and
Kathy.
peace. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so if anybody wants to be a guest, or if you want to say something, or you got an idea, thought, opinion, feeling surrounding King of the Hill or not King of the Hill.
Yeah, honestly, we'll take anything we can get from you. We love you guys. We thank you so much. Every week we get some new folks come in and out. Just tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your preacher, whatever.
Don't tell your dog.
Don't tell your dog. Dogs hate us. But we appreciate you guys slogging through this thing with us. Like we said, well, I haven't said it yet, but on this one, there is a thing in Austin being held called the ATX TV Festival. It's on May 30th. And I have zero pull in this thing, but I have applied for credentials for us to go cover this.
I hope we get them. If not, I'm gonna buy a ticket.
If we can do that, if not, we'll probably buy tickets and go and just see what we can do.
Hopefully they give us enough notice so we can buy tickets.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'll check in again on it this week because this week starts May. So
yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate it. Check out that ATX TV Festival in Austin. I think you can watch some of that stuff online also.
Yeah, they'll have some stuff online. I imagine that the King of the Hill panel will probably eventually be online too.
I would think so. Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be live, but I know they'll probably post a video of it because anytime they have a panel like that, something gets shared.
Oh, sure. All right. Well, that is it for us this week. We will be back on Friday with some guests in tow. And until then, I think there's only one thing left to say.
We Matanye.
We Matanye, indeed. Change the music.
Yeah, I did.
It's different music. No, it's different music.
It's different. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, that music is an AI copy of what we had, so that we don't get hit with copyrights anymore.
That's good.
Yeah, don't threaten me with a good time. Okay, so if you guys are still in there, we appreciate it, and we're gonna do one more little Friday and just kind of talk about the. Thanks, Artie. We Matane to you as well.
Yeah, we're still here.
We're going to do another Fridays where we're going to talk about this ATX TV Festival. So just hang on. This one will be fairly short. Hey, there they are.
There they
Look,
are.
I told you they'd be there. See? There's people there. Hey, guys, welcome to BWAAA, a King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
King of the Hill podcast. I'm Rusty.
He is still Rusty.
Definitely
and
Rusty.
Welcome to a That Ain't Right Friday. In our last couple of episodes, we have mentioned a thing called the ATX TV Festival in Austin happening on May 30th, 2025. I just wanted to go over that real quick. We are still waiting to hear whether we get credentials or not for this thing, hoping that we get to go cover it. If anybody listens to that or anybody has any pull with the ATX TV Festival.
Would it be credentials just for King of the Hill, or would it be
No, I think it'd
credentials
be
for the
credentials
whole
to cover the
event
whole
so we
thing.
could go see
Yeah.
other stuff too?
Yeah, it'd
That'd
be
be
credentials
cool.
to
Yeah.
cover the whole thing.
I don't really care about King of the Hill, but I'm sure there's cool stuff going on.
It says you can go to atxfestival.com and they'll show you all the things. But just to give you an idea of what we're talking about here, I think this is from the people who do South by. So they will have a few different series there representing themselves. King of the Hill, Mad Men.
King of the Hill.
So John Hamm will be in town.
Oh, they're bringing back Mad Men?
Late Night with Seth Meyers.
They're bringing
No.
it back or something?
It's just a panel they're doing.
Oh,
on
I
it.
thought they're bringing it back.
Late Night with Seth Meyers, so he'll be there. Something called We Were Liars, Andor, the people from the Star Wars thing. The Waterfront, Elsbeth, which is on CBS. Reasonable Doubt, The Leftovers, which is a big one. Animal Control. So I don't know if Joel, what's his name? That used to be on the
McHale.
Yeah, Joel McHale. I'm guessing he'll be in town for that. Harry Wild.
I was talking about the guy from Community.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joel McHale. Yeah.
Art Detectives, Unreal, The Long Long Night, The Golden Girls.
Whatever's left of them.
Yeah, there's not many. Designing Women.
The Golden Girl.
The Golden Girl. You Belong Here, and then it says More to Come.
More to come.
So I've got a little article here written by Kelsey Thompson. She is an Austin digital reporter. This came out April 25th.
Well, I bet you I need to actually I might reach out to that person in Austin that I've connected with through that Texas Live or whatever it is.
Yeah, you
news
should.
site.
Anybody you
I'm
can.
pretty sure that
You talking about the one that did the article?
Yeah, them being in Austin, I bet you she'll have credentials to that.
Probably. Yeah, I would imagine that they have credentials because didn't she work for? Oh, she works for that Texas.
She
Live
works
thing.
for a Austin publication. Website.
Yeah. When you do that, send me her.
Yeah, I'll get it to you.
Stuff too. All right. So this is written for mysanantonio.com by Kelsey Thompson, an Austin digital reporter. It's called King of the Hill Revival Reunion Transforms Austin into Arlen nearly 16 years after the series ended. It says, God dang it, Bobby, it's been nearly 16 years since the final season of King of the Hill wrapped, and the animated sitcom centered around the fictional city of Arlen, Texas. It has solidified its place in popular culture as a cult classic. A slew of Texans lent their voices to the comedic series with guest appearances from Willie Nelson, Matthew McConaughey, who's still very much in Austin, Renee Zellweger, and former Texas Governor Ann Richards. Its enduring legacy, and that's just a small amount of the people, its enduring legacy earned it a reboot series via Hulu, with the streaming platform announcing the revival was in the works back in January 2023. Think about that. We've been talking about this for 2 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying is we started this podcast like
right before
that.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
the reason why we've had so much trouble having guests.
Oh, sure.
And stuff
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah, 'cause
actual
they're all
atmosphere because of that. But
says now fans will
it's
get
been a cool journey.
Yeah, now fans will get a first look at the next chapter of the Hill family and the rest of Arlen right here in Texas. The ATX TV Festival will host a King of the Hill reunion on May 30th. The series announced this week on its Facebook page. So
here you go. I got something for you right here.
Well, what I was going to say is when that happened, that's the announcement they made, the little thing. You'll
Yeah,
see that on their
that's
Facebook
cool.
page if you go to it.
So on the actual ATX Festival website, apparently they're doing a King of the Hill backyard barbecue presented by Hulu.
Yep.
So if you have a badge holder, which is what we're trying to
this follows that. They're doing a panel and then they're having a barbecue after.
get. Yeah.
And it's going to have Mike Judge, Greg Daniels, Saladin K. Patterson, who is now the showrunner.
He's the showrunner. He's the guy that did the reboot for Wonder Years.
Pamela Adlon and Lauren Tom and Toby Huss. It says the show picks up years after the original series. Bobby is now 21 and a chef in Dallas. Backyard barbecue event to follow. And then it says season 14 premieres summer 2025 on Hulu.
So it'll be the summer.
So June or July.
Right after, probably right after this event.
I'm betting on June. Just simply because he's doing this on the 30th. I would imagine you're about 2 weeks away from it at that point.
Yeah. Well, I think it's cool too. So they say that the after event will showcase food and drink from Texas favorites, local brands, exclusive King of the Hill themed photo ops and giveaways, backyard games, and great tunes.
It also says
that would be awesome to get into that.
It also says it'll include
awesome.
a preview of the revival as well as a panel featuring all those people we mentioned.
It would be awesome just to get into the space to talk if all I gotta do is get into a room and I'm good. Like I want to
see them.
I'm gonna get a guest, at least one out of that.
I just want to see. I would like to hear them talk about Hardwick. Because I mean that is probably their biggest loss.
Yeah,
simply because it's the most recent. I mean I know.
Yeah,
Brittany
it's the
Murphy
biggest
was a big
loss due to
deal.
recent,
Tom
but
Petty was a
like
big
losing
deal,
Brittany
but-
Murphy and Tom Petty and anybody else that I can't that I haven't listed. I'm sure there's probably others.
It
But,
did say the panel is going to take place at the Paramount Theater in downtown Austin. Great
Jonathan
theater.
Joss
Great
will
theater.
be shining shoes outside of Pyramid Theater. If you want your shoes shined by John Redcorn, be there. I think that is a crazy way to protest.
I think it's a great way to protest.
I think it's crazy, but it's great. Yeah, it is definitely a great way.
And
I just don't like. I know it's kind of off topic. So if everybody hadn't watched our previous episode where we discussed it, Jonathan Joss is active in a King of the Hill fan group page on Facebook that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
And he went on a little rant in there how he was pissed off and he didn't understand. He felt slighted that he wasn't involved in this event.
Yeah.
But if you look at the list, there's other people who aren't involved in it as well. They literally just have Bobby and Hank pretty much.
Yeah.
That's like the two main, like Stephen Root's not there. I mean,
Pamela Adlon.
Pamela Adlon.
I mean, that's Bobby.
That's Bobby.
Yeah.
But so there's like a lot of voice actors for the show that are important to the show that aren't there, so I don't understand why he would be so upset. Not only that, I don't want to downplay his role in the show, but it's really not.
No, it's not
massive.
Huge. Yeah, it's not huge.
He's not in every episode. He's not even in probably. If you know, correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody that wants to do the actual math, I bet you John Redcorn is not in half of the episodes. I bet he's probably in a quarter of the King of the Hill.
Yeah, he's
episodes.
not in a ton. He's not in a ton.
He's not in a bunch. And if you do see him, it's just you might just see him in the background or something like that if he's not a part of the actual episode. So I can understand that him being in San Antonio and not being a Hollywood elite like Kathy Najimy is pretty. She's been in some. She's not just the average.
No, not at
voice actress. Jonathan Joss. A character for sure. There's a guy that I need to try to get as a guest. His name's Matt Troutner, I think is his name.
Okay.
But he does this Rusty Shackelford thing. He actually he flew Jonathan Joss out to the city that he lives in, and they did a show on Friday night. They did like a music comedy show thing in North Carolina to raise money for Jonathan Joss because
his house burned down?
His house burned down, and I don't know. There's a couple of erratic videos that he posted on Facebook a couple of times where he rants about stuff.
Yeah.
And
he is getting older.
Well, he was kind of showing signs of some type of stimulant use.
Yeah.
You could tell that he was kind of jicked out, whether it was Adderall or methamphetamines or whatever it might have been. He looked kind of suspect and out of it. I hope whatever he's got going on, he figures it out. But he will be there shining shoes. So I think I'm gonna wear a pair of
wingtips.
I'm gonna go to a thrift store and try to find me some wingtips.
Get some real beat up ones.
And I'm gonna wear wingtips and jeans, and I'm gonna
that'd be great.
See if I can get him to. I'll even give him a $10 bill to shine him.
So once again, guys, this is going to be on May 30th at the Paramount Theater in
I would have gave him $100 to come on the podcast.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
I would have gave him $200
to
come on the podcast,
folks.
But 5K, like more than $200, I think would have been out of the question.
5K. It says Paramount Theater in downtown Austin, and then Hulu is hosting a backyard barbecue event afterwards with a recreation of the Hills family backyard.
Yeah, so it'd be
that's freaking cool.
So you'd be in the Hank's backyard kind of feel.
Yeah. So
rub
if
some
anybody out there
elite.
has any kind of pull with the ATX Festival in Austin, please put in a good word for us.
Put
They
in a
did
word,
respond and say that we'll get with you soon. So
we're a big enough media outlet.
Well, they didn't just give me a flat ass no. So
not only that,
we're
we're in Central Texas. This has become a decent sized little media outlet.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Name another podcast company in Central Texas.
Honestly, there's not many.
Yeah,
but another thing
in between Dallas and Austin, this has got to be the biggest.
The other thing I would love to do is talk to some of these other shows. I mean, hell, when are you going to get to talk to Seth Meyers? When are you going to get to talk to
it'd be cool
John
to
Hamm.
Run around and talk to everybody. Yeah. But
it'd be
honestly,
great. But we'd be there for the King of the Hill thing.
King of the Hill thing that would take up a lot of my energy.
All right. Anything else going on that we need to cover? I think that's it for now, right?
Pope died, and
Pope did die.
Kanye West said that he had sexual relations with his cousin when he was a child.
Great.
Other than that, for the 2025 bingo card,
aliens are next.
I don't have anything on it.
All right, guys. Thank you always for joining us. We really appreciate all of you. Where can they find us?
They can find us on BWAAA KOTH on all social medias, and you can also email us comments, thoughts, suggestions, feelings. You could say "fuck you" and
we love a good email,
whatever. That's at BWAAKOTH@gmail.com. That's going to be 3 A's.
And I think that leaves us with just one more thing to say.
Wima Tanye.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Wima Tanye, indeed.
I'd be happy.
Oh yeah, tell him seriously. Send me something. I will take care of that. Whoops. Bye, guys.